Wow, guys, a fortnight went by really fast. It doesn't feel like it would have. I don't have good jokes. I'm tired, we're tired, but it's Kingmaker time. Hooray. I say that and I'm like, I got a 6-hour session coming up ahead of me. I actually don't, and that's well, like I kind of do, but I'm only jamming 3 hours of it, and that's dank. But thank you all for your support on Patreon, keeping us pandemic proof and helping me have the coolest job on planet Earth. And remember, if you'd like me to torture you with a undead zombie monster or a giant fly trap that's almost too big for the island that they put it on, but they didn't make a map for, and I'm still mad about it, we can certainly do that. Do we want to do our in-character reflections before or after the combat?
I would prefer before, because it's going to get... The one that I wrote is going to get less and less relevant the further we get from the end of last session.
All right, sounds like both of you who volunteered for first and second time.
And I volunteer to go after the fly trap fight.
Is that the new house rule that the man with the... We roll initiative for who is doing the in-character reflection first. Ergo, the Inquisitor always goes first.
All right, I'll go.
All right, take it.
All right, so, we'll read it first. One final crash of thunder rang out, and a plume of smoke billowed from the end of the strange device as the figure holding it reappeared. The creature that had threatened his allies had its head reduced to an ichorish puddle that quickly dissipated beneath the water. Seconds later, Ionia pushed past, intent on pulling her companion from the water. The remainder of the party quickly followed suit, converging to ensure that everybody had survived. Smoking barrel in hand, Arcturus barely noticed the girl as she edged past him. His task was completed, and the threat was over. Knowing better than to have anything to do with the water, he instead fixated on the weapon for a moment and turned back toward his friend, hovering in the air. His gaze shifted to the tiny inevitable, and he gave a knowing, relieved nod. They had been practicing fighting in unison with this new device, both of them feeling a bit closer to divinity in its operation. There was a serenity to its functionality, to the mechanisms working together to produce a desired result. Even. The cooperation of the High Priest and his familiar seemed, in a way, to be an extension of the weapon itself. The Inquisitor briefly considered how close he had come to losing his friend to the muck, but their bond remained stronger than any siren's song. His eyes returned back to the firearm. Images surfaced in his mind of the inevitable that had delivered it, and closing his eyes for a moment, Arcturus reminisced in basking in such perfection. Saying a brief prayer, he began to notice in full for the first time that his body felt a bit more under his control. The half a step he had lost to the years suddenly seemed to have found its way back. This was not merely a good day. Something had shifted. The hands of the clock turned back, perhaps, or maybe the clock itself had been rewound. He looked again to Arbiter, who had faithfully fluttered close by. Placing his hand on the metal creature, Arcturus smiled and turned to rejoin the group. I am playing that character, Arcturus Vilmar, an Inquisitor of Abadar, human with just a sprinkling of gunslinger. Yeah. You're
part
on,
human,
Ionia.
part gunslinger.
Huh?
Part human, part gunslinger.
I made that joke once. I'm not gonna keep doing it.
He's a mostly Inquisitor gunslinger.
There it is.
It was mostly because you said Inquisitor, human, gunslinger.
It's his background is Inquisitor.
Never mind.
Good. You have a hero point. I enjoy you all so much. I think it then goes next to... did Ionia want to go second? I thought I heard Ionia go second, but if not...
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, hell yeah. On you go.
It's been a while since I've volunteered to go early in these. So this will be on the carriage ride from the previous fight to this fight. A soft breeze blows, gently pushing the long strands of curly black hair from Ionia's face. With eyes closed, she smiles, the sun warming her cheeks as she breathes in the fresh gozern air. New blossoms encouraging a slight floral scent that hadn't yet been dampened by rain. The feeling was not dissimilar to that of flying, a new, exhilarating experience to the girl, the adrenaline, though faded, still coursing through her veins. Despite the ever-looming threat of a lich constantly harassing Concordia, with no real leads on the location of his phylactery, and the discovery of Rustlandi troops moving in along the border, Ionia still felt peace in this moment. It was hard to feel fear in the face of new discovery and new experiences. Finally accessing the Elven Tower, witnessing its overwhelming ornate beauty, the sensation of soaring through the air, the satisfaction and pride of observing her students gain new understanding. These experiences fill Ionia's mind. There's no room for worry, not today. Ioni Yassel, mostly human occultist. Hi.
Hi. Good. Hero point. You got to do that from now on. That's the trademark. That's the catchphrase. Ioni Essel, mostly human occultist. Hi.
That
Good.
was my Flynn Rider.
What?
Oh man. Whew. I think that's a Treasure Planet reference.
No, that's Tank.
Oh. Also good. Also good. Yes, I am still waking up. Chug the coffee, take the hero point as it passes from one side of the country to the other, as we now muster from 3 very distinct places.
I guess I go next.
All
It's
right.
Kato. All right. I am Senya the Black Stag. I play a Kellet human Geminid Invoker and partly Fouling Soldier. And my reflection is going to be very short. Senya gets up to the top of the cliff and stands up straight and observes her surroundings. She sees the plant life stir, and all of a sudden a giant big bush is staring down at her. Well, I made a huge mistake.
All right, yeah, sure, I'll take it. Very good. Hero point. It goes to our
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. On to the Classicopia then.
Classicopia. All right. Cato Sicarius, son of Saul Sicarius, the human Talden. I don't know how to pronounce stuff in this setting.
Either is
Sometimes we'll just go with it. Playing, yes. So he is a level 1 Eldori Sword Lord, a level 5 Swashbuckler, level 2 Monk, and level 1 Fighter. Kato, so this is a little, take about maybe like a two to 3 minute step back from where we currently are. Kato runs his hand along the scales of his new companion, which he has dubbed the Red Prince. The creature is shaking and trembling, water still dripping from its scales as it was just recently pulled down into the abyss by the frightful creature that lurked within. You need to be careful, buddy. We just got you. We can't lose you yet. Kato thinks to himself, I've always wanted a disciple, someone I could train, pass my years of wisdom onto. Perhaps this creature, though he hesitates to call it a creature, knowing the intelligence that sits behind its eyes. Perhaps you would make the perfect disciple. But first, as he once again examines the scaly hide, we need to get you in some armor. You're way too exposed. As this is going on, he notices the barbarian scaling the wall, who has run ahead of the entire group. As he sees the massive plant-like creature emerge from the cliffside, he turns back. But that's going to have to wait. Looks like we have another fight to get through today. Hello.
Hello. All right, good. Hero points all around. Indeed,
Hello.
Senia climbs to the top of the little hill, and like I said, it's very big Fallout New Vegas energy. Like, it's just very verdant all of a sudden right here. You go looking around, you find the remains of, looks like a couple of centaurs had come through here and died. You start seeing like a very nice made out of dark wood sheath with a blade in it, some kind of other stuff hanging out of this plant, and that plant wants to eat you because it's a giant fly trap. Kato is with lightning speed, sword drawn, top of the initiative.
Yes. Out of character, so I guess this can be in character too. Ionia, would you mind giving me your little special touch?
This is how much before combat? Do we have time? Do we have time to prep?
No.
Combat.
In your first round, do you have anything urgent you need to do, or can you?
I mean, I literally have like a full minute of preparations that I have to do at the beginning of every combat when we don't have time to prepare.
Here we go.
So no. I need
He's
a yes
asking if it'll be the first thing you do or not.
if I can delay my turn till after you.
I-
If you would be,
Yes, I don't love it, but I can.
I would appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna hold my turn until after Ionia.
Alrighty, anything from the lad? The Crimson Lad?
Oh, yes, he is going to. He's real hurt and not looking so hot. He is just going to hide behind Kato.
Fair enough. Just looks over, sees the fly trap rise up and
He'll
its
go back
mouth
there.
open and just barking. Then drops. And indeed, the plant would like to eat you.
Oh, boy.
Alrighty. Not one. Why do you bing at me, computer? Do not make the binging noise at me when I'm recording. 4 bites. This should be
Oof.
great. This should be dope. Here we go against Senia's flat-footed Harmonic. Well, you got uncanny dodge at this point. Boom, bang, bang, bang.
Oh shit, this thing's strong.
Looks like the lowest one's a 27 to hit you.
They all hit.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. So this is from 4 attacks. If you have damage reduction, can't math. As this thing just like you are caught almost totally by surprise. You see it, you recognize that is the thing, but it reacts before you can like get your wits about you, and it just lunges forward with this uncanny speed to the tune of 47 points of damage. This is the part where it gets awkward because now all 4 of them are going to try to grab you. I don't know how to don't die to a bush. We made that joke before the recording started, and it was just so much better then because it was Senia who said it, and it was hilarious. But I'm going to assume it is in fact the first mouth's 35 that is able to handily get you. And
What's
yeah,
your
y'all.
CMD?
CMD.
Yes, you got her.
All right.
Got her.
Y'all see Senia is picked up into the air. She's probably like, the left side of her body, we'll say, is inside the fly trap's mouth as it is just like pulling her down, pulling her under, and you're on.
Nervous sweating intensifies.
Yeah.
This thing might not... I thought this was going to be easy, actually, if I'm being honest.
Wait till your first turn. You'll be fine.
So what was its best attack roll? Its best was a 33, and that was with an 18. Metagaming a little here.
You suddenly know
Cool.
the Stag Lord's armor class once again. There's another example of shit that will just go completely over my head if I'm not paying attention.
Delato's real good at metagaming you.
He is. He freaking is. But what do you do?
My turn.
Yeah, you're on.
So, Senya's going to go into her trance, and she's gonna cast her. Where's my totem that protects me against acid attacks?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
That's relevant right now, yeah.
Okay, +1 resistance.
There it is.
So +2 bonus on saving throws against acid, death effects, disease, and poison.
Okay, cool.
So, I guess that she is. Now, for the purposes of the black stab weapon, like, is it defaulted to a specific shape
It is not.
at the start of it? So I have to like do a thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, it's transformative to switch, but I guess
It would cost you a standard action to move it around, or you could try to break the grapple.
yeah, I would try to break out.
And that would be
Combat maneuver bonus.
all right. I'm gonna give the breakout of a grapple attempt.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, you struggle, you kick, you pull, you mostly just like, I don't want to call them teeth. I've actually never seen a Venus flytrap up close before. The sharp pointy bits around the end that resemble a humanoid's teeth, mostly you just hang on those as if it was like barbed wire as you try to pull out. And you get a whole lot of nowhere burning your, now you've used a free and standard action. So if you have any swift actions, now would be a good time. Otherwise, I think we shoot the ball over to young Artoris.
Yeah, I think we do.
Younger door.
What's my line of sight
Oh,
like from here?
Sorry. So I still have Dom that can that I can
You have a horse,
direct,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So apparently he can climb, perhaps.
Or he could
He
try
has
to
a
make,
climb skill.
make an acrobatics to jump, could also work.
He doesn't have an acrobatic skill, but he has a climb skill. So
How in the world? What?
Don't even. Yeah.
This is Skyrim material right here.
Well, you see, when he got the horns, he actually turned into not a holy symbol of a rastal, but just a normal-ass goat.
I'm just assuming that he's going to like do like a charge towards the cliff and do a leap. That's how he climbs.
So what it
Maybe.
would be you would need to climb down like the 45-degree angle here, and then the water is here, and then like a 45-degree angle up the other side. Which is why I was like, you could probably jump that and get a running start at a DC like 20 acrobatics check, or you could start making your way down the hill. You wouldn't even have to get all the way up. You could just get like over here a little bit and then use his horns to stab upwards.
I am being advised to leave the horse alone. Grom's going to be like all nervously, like just pacing about beneath the cliff and just neighing and
Yeah,
getting all worried.
I'd approach like the cliff, like here, and then just kind of leave him. I wouldn't engage basically the fly trap with your horse, if you want him to survive the day.
Oof.
Right. So, he's gonna like kind of just nervously pace about under the cliff.
Okay, then it goes to Artoris.
What's my line of sight like from here?
You should be fine.
All right, well then I will.
Yeah, you good.
I'm gonna go ahead and swift action study the target. Arbiter is gonna peg me with a charge of, the thing.
Of the thing.
Vanish.
Got it.
And then I'm going to unleash a full round attack without haste using my crossbow, which I have drawn as a free action thanks to quick draw.
Fair enough. But can we take it to -90?
Probably
Oh,
not.
God.
Not with the crossbow.
Making me want to play like a scythe character or something at some point, or a gunslinger. Alrighty, firing in. Everything connects. 27, 27, 18. Anything else from you?
That'll do it.
The bolts just 1, 2, 3 up the side of it. It leans back. It doesn't really make any noise or anything, but it does start to, I guess not blood so much as like water begins to come out of the stalk that you've shot. And Yodia.
I guess I'm just tagging Kato. So go ahead and get large, my friend.
Again, you begin to cast enlarge person. That takes 1 round to cast. Kato has to sit for a round.
So this is the one thing we asked you about earlier, Tommy. So this isn't enlarge person. This is a spell-like ability, a supernatural ability that just enlarges the person as a standard action.
I see. Can you link
But
it?
it's touch. It's touch instead of. Here, she can post it.
And I'm actually gonna move here when I do that, just I'm a little closer on my next turn.
Can,
Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
that's. Can you post size alteration?
Oh, I did physical enhancement, my bad. Sorry, like I said, I'm a little out of it. 3 hours of sleep will do that to you.
It will. Okay, fair enough. Whap, whap, whap.
And then Minoru's gonna start running that way, and I'll kind of grab him by his dire collar and get ready to activate that on my next turn.
Alrighty, so then Kato has held his turn and now goes it. technically there.
So there's a hill down, a hill up,
And water at the bottom.
and water at the bottom. So that would prevent me from charging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I could make a, if I wanted to double move for 60, what tests would I need to take to, what would you like me to roll?
You could do an acrobatics check and try to just, like,
That's all he wanted to hear.
force jump the distance.
That's all I needed, buddy. That's all I needed.
Make it so.
Make sure I'm on the right. I almost started rolling on the wrong character sheet.
The wrong character sheet would be good for you now.
It would, but I'm not a cheater.
No cheaty face here. Metagaming, yes. Cheating, no. There's a fine line.
There is a fine line. All right, acrobatics, go.
Acrobatics, go.
I'm gonna. Do I need to daring do this? Probably not. I'm just gonna yeah, just normal.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's really close, but you get there.
Okay.
You probably, like, your back foot lands on the edge and you kick a little, like, dirt and stuff back, and then you lean forward and the front foot lands and you're good.
Now I assume it has reach.
Yes, and 3 more attacks. Does it have combat reflexes? I don't think I have feats because I'm just a... Oh, I do have feats, but... Okay, but combat reflexes is not one of them, so it will provoke once if you would like to parry.
I will attempt to parry.
Okay.
And I will riposte.
Kato forgot to add his next class into his Classicopia. Jedi Knight. At this
Jedi-
level. As he flips across the chasm, knocks the thing aside.
I didn't even add the +4 for answering to that. Whoopsie.
We all feel like we're posting.
Yes, ignore the addition. It's hanging. Ignore the additional precision, of course. It's only 5 if the attack hits.
Alrighty, and 24 indeed does connect. So then minus
20
5.
total.
Nice. You slash across, probably in one motion is the parry and the riposte. Like, knock the little teeth fang aside and then carry the sword down to cut alongside the mouth, quote unquote, of the plant. And that leaves you with a standard action.
Oh, yes. No, I double moved.
That was a double move, yeah. Alrighty, I'm a plant. I'm gonna read my engulf ability. Hurts with bite, but is not otherwise hindered. Okay, so then this thing is gonna use its standard action, I guess? Yeah. Alrighty, so at Senia, 32 over your CMD. And y'all watch as Senia is... The creature just kind of leans its head back and Senia slides inside of it. The mouth closes. Senia gets real dark. It dawns on you that the air in here is going to run out at some point as acid begins to fill the cavity that you've been dropped into. So, as the cavity floods with digestive enzymes, unfortunately this doesn't offer a save. If Daemon Totem gives you some kind of resistance, that might apply, but 5 points of acid damage and 11 points of the crushing. The other 3 attacks are going at Kato.
Oh, so that's full 5 and 11, right? So 16 points.
Yeah.
Okay, Kato. Wait, let me make sure I have the right amount of panache because we came from a fight. Yeah, so I should have 4 left. Okay. How many attacks? Are you able to tell me?
I'm gonna swing some. There will
Some.
definitely be a number.
All right. I will attempt to parry the first and let the others go.
Okay, make it so.
Whew! Noise.
Alrighty.
I don't have enough. I haven't had my next
Right.
turn. Fair enough.
And I hit record and the laugh track happens, and we all know exactly what happened. Hooray. Alrighty, here we go. 28, 31. Yeah, those are all of its attacks, 28 and 31 to hit you.
Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 5. And then I lose 5. Okay, so this matters. Do you need to beat or meet? I forget when it comes to AC.
Gotta tie it.
Gotta tie it. All right, so what happens here? So my AC is currently 33, but that first attack that missed by 5 or less. So it consumes, 4 or less. Never mind, it's 4, not 5, so it does not consume. The second one, okay, so the first one will miss.
Right.
All good. The second one will miss by only 2, so it will consume this.
Crane
Do you know how
still
Crane
takes off.
Riposte works?
Yeah.
Okay. So I lose 4 AC, but I get to make an attack of opportunity
Alright, make it so.
against you. That's
Nice.
just the first one.
And it connects, and it hits, and it's 19 damage. And goes
Am I-
then on to Setia, who now mechanically has the pinned condition. Basically,
Wait,
the
did
only...
the final one hit?
It did not.
Oh, okay. I
It-
guess I lost track of the AC there.
And Crane style's weird, but Setia being pinned, the only thing you can really try to do now is break out of its jaws, and doing strenuous activity will cause you to run out of air faster. But like, other than to literally try to push this thing open, that's basically all you have.
What's your escape artist? Non-existent.
None.
So I mean,
So is that a strength check or?
Another CMB.
your CMB's not awful. You just need to roll really good, probably.
What's my last roll?
Rolled horrible last time. You rolled like a 3 or something on it.
The 9.
A 9. Oh, well, that wasn't that bad.
Do I continue to struggle?
Well, as a pinned creature, excuse me, oof. You cannot move, you are denied your dexterity, you take a -4 to your AC, and basically all you've got is try to push out, that kind of thing. You can hold your breath for a number of rounds equal to, I believe it's 3 times your constitution's score, but doing strenuous actions burns them at like double the rate. So Senia can probably hold her breath for a while, I'm assuming. If the barbarian can't, we have a problem.
So it's 16 con, so that's 3 times you said?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Guys confident you can kill this thing while I hold its breath? Or hold my breath?
If Senia stays in the mouth, she technically has taken one of its 4 attacks away. That's the strat. Everybody jump in a mouth while Artoris shoots it to death.
Alright, well, I'm going to sit tight. You guys got 48 rounds to kill this thing.
Alright, Artoris, no rush. Man, can y'all imagine a minute of combat takes 3 hours? 48 rounds of combat. Round 42, the sun sets in the west. I need to go get dinner now. I'm sorry, friends.
Sunsets on the
I tried to
west.
come up with something interesting to do with my swift action, but I don't want to burn my final charge of my rod for the day, so
That's what she said.
there it is.
There, God damn it. Well, a 17 unfortunately does not confirm.
Never lucky.
Or does it? Are you... Yeah, even if you were invisible, it wouldn't confirm. Hockey dokie, 25, 21, 19... 21.
And that'll do it for me.
Never lucky, says the guy who put a Rusalka to -94.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, fires the arrows, bolts, sharp pointies from the mechanical thing, and The creature continues just kind of like leaning back as probably the force of the impact pushes it a little bit towards the side, not like mechanically, but on Flavor. And Ionia, you're up.
Okay, so remembering that I used my Charge of Dire Caller in the last combat, and also that that's not quite what I want to do. I'm going to instead give Minoru a shield. And then he's going to try to get up this hill. So let me see if I track this right. He's got 55 feet of movement, and this would all be difficult terrain, right?
More or less. If he wants to move, it's like climb, swim, climb. If he wants to try to jump it like Kato did, it'd be just 1 acrobatics.
Okay, he's gonna try to acrobatics.
Alrighty. You guys did know actually last level Minoru took a level of Jedi Knight as boing. Yeah, you wildly make it. Minoru almost overshoots it, landing flawlessly, effortlessly wherever you want him to.
Okay, can he have made it to this point?
Yes, and it provokes from our guy 27 to hit Minoru.
Oh, let me apply his. No, that won't. That won't hit with the shield up.
Flytrap tries to close its mouth, but bounces off the energy of the shield, and Minoru just kind of borks on the ground.
Nice.
And so that was just his movement. And then he's going to. There's several different mouths, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna try to bite at the base of one of the mouths in order to grapple it.
Sounds good.
And that'll be a -2 because he's not tripping, so 29.
Unfortunately, that's not quite good enough. This thing's real big, and it just kind of pulls out. There's a quick, brief tug of war, and then the flytrap escapes.
And then I'm just gonna move to here, and that will be my turn.
Y'alrighty. MacLeod?
Kato. All right. Kato's going to 5-foot step. Make some room in case anyone else wants to join us up here.
Y'alrighty.
Though I don't think that's going to happen.
Be right up, yeah.
Yeah.
Travel domain.
And-
Guys, look how easy it was for me to get up here.
Let's see what we got here. I think I'm just going to full round attack. Yeah, I'm just going to full round attack. Swing in for the fences.
Y'alrighty. And if you would like to flavor it.
Oof, that's like so Kato's examining the after seeing Senya like get gobbled up, he's like looking for where the like, where is she? Let her go, you disgusting monster. So he pulls his sword out and he starts hacking at the like, would you call them throats of the stalks? I don't know.
Stamen?
What
Plants are weird.
Anyway, he starts hacking at the various, like, you know, the parts that are holding the big maws, the big, you know, giant maws onto the plant. Anyway, long story short, he starts hacking away, frantically trying to find Senya. Where could she be? Let her go, you monsters! He's hacking, and then he takes one of the heads clean off, and I assume Senya's like able to pull herself out.
Yeah, Senya probably, like, as the beast collapses and its legs that end in real strange, like, arm hand kind of things go out 4 different directions, and it, like, blur onto the ground, its mouth opens, and Senya, only kind of digested, only minor acid burns and, like, patches of her hair and, like, fur from her armor and stuff missing, rolls out into a heap on the ground.
Senya, like, she bursts out of one of its mouths, like all in slime and stuff, and kind of remembers the legend of one of her ancestors by the name of Drax, and she kind of emulates it, going, ah, die, you monster.
Instinctively, the blade of the black stag turns into a sax, because that's about dagger size. And that's now canon. Alright, cool. Don't look at the Roll20 chat, everyone. Look away from them.
Oh.
I forgot my token.
Mostly human.
What a mistake.
Wow. Wow, that's yeah, that's you were
Mostly
never living that
human.
down.
The other half is apparently something very different from human.
She was bitten by a werewolf somewhere at the end of session, book 1, and it's come
So
full
this is officially canon now.
Indeed. All right, cool, great.
Hey, I gave a disclaimer about exactly this kind of thing.
I guess I got a point of panache back from my
Yes, that was a killing blow.
epic kill.
Alrighty. And the floor falls back to the 4 of you.
All right.
Around
That was exhilarating.
for Vorticai.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've been, thoroughly softened up, where is he?
Where is he?
In fact, can I make a perception check?
Yeah, I was gonna say
That certain.
Sure.
I was gonna do the same, but to examine the. I guess there was like a sword here, and I imagine other things that it's hoarded. Is it hoarded a treasure?
Less hoarded a treasure and more like stuff folks were carrying when they died. There's more than enough spellcraft in the party that Ionia would be able to tell you everything that's there. In total, 320 silver pieces, 345 gold pieces, 13 platinum pieces, a masterwork bastard sword, and an elegant darkwood scabbard. The scabbard alone is worth like 150 gold. Did not put this in the loot on my own. That was there, and it's very good for this party. A lesser silent meta magic rod, and a helm of comprehending languages and reading magic. I don't know if that's what that item is actually called. That's what the book has called it. That doesn't seem like an actual name for an item.
Is this thing am I able to harvest anything from this plant?
Yeah, you can make a survival check.
I haven't in a while.
Is the fancy scabbard just like fancy and expensive, or doesn't have any functionality to it?
No, it's really nice. It's a very, very extra scabbard. Sized for a bastard sword.
Right, of course. So
as Arcturus goes looking around,
Where is he?
it gets really quiet. Just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, and much to your horror, Ionia, make a spellcraft check.
I knew it.
yeah, we did.
You're not
He's
sure
huge.
what
Oh my
Vorticai
God.
has cast upon himself, but his proportions have become legendary, and he appears dropping out of invisibility, looming before you, and in an otherworldly voice, he booms out, echoing across all of the stolen lands. Nah, just kidding.
Damn it, Tommy.
I'm gonna leave him on the GM layer, though, in case I need to bring him back. Go back to the GM layer, Vorticai. I'm sure you're gonna be here. I'm sorry you've become a meme. He's kind of a meme. All right, spellcraft checks from Cinia. You go harvesting. Parts of it are probably edible. It's a pretty big plant. It's giant, stalky, but beefy. I imagine the taste is probably like a combination of like asparagus meets celery, that kind of thing. Certainly you could like go grill this up and it wouldn't be bad. You could probably also get some, like if you were to quickly grab a vial, open up specifically the one you were in, because this creature doesn't really have like a stomach per se, so much as it just like you are digested into nothing in its mouth and then it like absorbs you into it. You could quickly like vial up some of the acid.
How much acid would I be able to get from it?
Oh, let's roll a d4. How many before? A lot of it is already like splashed off. Its head probably almost yote you into the water.
Sorry, you did that. Never mind.
That's all good. We rolled samesies. A couple doses that you could quickly like grab, as opposed to some of it, which is probably just burning the bleached bones on the island, or again fallen into the water and now been rendered basic.
Hey, so we got a couple of vials of acid.
Suppose you could put that helm on the Red Prince real quick and it would solve a lot of problems. given that it grants the wearer the ability to understand the spoken words of any creature. Don't gotta teach it language if it knows all language from birth.
Yeah, so it is actually a real item on the SRD. I just posted it on the full description.
Fair enough. And yeah. Floor is yours, y'all.
Senya, how you feeling?
Ouchies.
I'm
I'm
just gonna
hurting real bad. Come-
start beating you over the head with this wand.
Thanks.
Man, I just cannot get my tokens right today. Let me know when you're good.
1 sec.
Or rather, let me know if you want me to roll again.
One more. Sweet.
And then I'm gonna top off Minoru as well, because I didn't do that after the last fight.
Alrighty. And while we're thinking about that, I'm gonna open our big book of our calendar. There's the word, so I can keep track of what the hell day it is.
Big book of days.
The big book of days. If only we had a term for a giant book with days in it, and when important events occurred, like when a lich showed up to immediately nuke your house now that you're not there. Today,
Yeah, there's that possibility. too.
Mordecai will today be played by Dane Cook as he performs the world's biggest B&E. I'm not old, but I guess I will. This is not me necessarily communicating that you're done with the map unless you'd like to be, but I'll go ahead and bop you back to the world map real quick.
Bop us back to the map.
Mm.
All right. Wow, look, Juby's made some good progress.
I imagine Juby's sitting on a stump with his like legs crossed, tapping his foot impatiently, like, what is taking so long?
Salted pork is particularly good.
I can dig it.
Thanks, Juby, for that life lesson. All right, so are we good to keep?
Yeah. Let's follow the river.
Unless we want to just hang out here with these centaur skeletons.
Yeah,
There's-
they're like centaur skeletons here. I'm assuming the plant ate them.
Is there
Should we do
anything
like
can do
a
with
like
that?
a history check or something on
Wait,
that?
can't you do like
maybe?
a
Or,
land thing?
Oh yeah, I can do like well.
Land
How fresh do
thing.
these corpses look?
They're skeletons.
Then
That doesn't-
yeah, no.
And
Well,
I-
it might have acid that.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying. That doesn't matter. They could have been
Yeah.
acided down to
Oh,
bone.
I mean, I can try. Try
Nature
to see what
checks.
happens.
Nature checks are good. Make a nature check.
Oh yeah, to see if that's even something.
Yeah.
Senya might know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is literally what happened. The bones are stripped of meat and just lay out because they were literally dissolved by a flytrap monster. It stands to reason by that logic they could either be super, super, super old or a couple days old, but given that there was a flytrap monster there, like, you assume probably they might have even just showed up a little while before you all.
Well, I guess that would be where we could recognition to see if anything pings.
Well, I guess you could object read too, but that's
Object read what their
What, the
bones.
bones?
By
no, the sword, the
by a
equipment
very-
that we just picked up.
By a
Oh, the
very
bastard.
strict rules as written, upon death, your body becomes an object for the purpose of spells and things. So yes, you could go grab a centaur femur and object read it.
Huh.
There we go.
But we also have the big
You
ass
all laughed
sword.
at me.
Or we could
I think the land one is more interesting because we could see what happened here rather than like,
Right,
that one
rather
time
than
where
just
we
kind of
read
like a
that cloak and
specific-
saw that guy
Yeah,
having a nice evening to
yeah. If you
himself.
read,
What a
the
nice
femme
evening.
femur, you might end up like seeing him back at his home with his wife.
Sharpening the sword, thinking about what a good day it's going to be, and that's all we get. Yeah.
Okay,
Ah.
everybody
Yeah.
quiet. I'm meditating.
The sun is shining. All right, recognition. Here we go. The spell allows you to gain psychic impressions from past events that occurred at your current location. Reveals over the course of the last hour through the first minute of the duration, followed by back to next minute, and so on. Is there a maximum amount of time you can concentrate on this?
By caster level.
Right. I think it says at the bottom.
So she's allowed one at 13th. She gets 1 week, but I think she's limited to a day.
So right now it's 9 hours. If I'm understanding
Yes.
that right. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Sure, makes sense to me.
And then it sounds like, God, eventually you can do that in terms of centuries. That's dope. But for
And
now,
you need a concentration check.
yeah, if you would.
Though at a level 19 occultist is basically like
Has way cooler things. And the recognition is really cool, honestly.
it is cool.
I have enjoyed the hell out of GMing for a psychic class, and I think they deserve more love because they're dope. But Ionia closes her eyes, concentrates. Over the past 9 hours, you probably... Yeah, the first thing that springs to your mind is a very real sensation of, like, surprise, followed by fear, followed by, I don't know how afraid Senia is of suffocating or of the dark, but all of that you can pretty quickly track back to, this is probably what Senia felt when this thing ambushed her, and it has left a psychic impression here. Farther back 8 hours does not really give you a lot of much. The flytrap itself does not leave a lot of a psychic impression on things, therefore does not leave anything in the recognition. The bodies have clearly been here longer than 9 hours by trial and error. By the scientific method, basically, you can determine that they've been here that long.
Okay. Coming back to, I'll say, well, looks like there was a party of 4 here, along with some animals. One of them was encased in one of the mouths, but then another one killed it, and it was us. Okay, let's go.
Anything else? Any object readings or knowledge checks or other dice rolls or things like that?
I mean, I can try to object read, like, the sword or something, if you guys want me to.
I mean, I'm not. It's up to you. I don't
these
really have a whole lot of
like
interest
just
in.
nameless centaur, right?
Yeah, I honestly,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think-
even if it was like a magic weapon or something, it might be someone of interest. But it's like, I mean,
Well,
We just discovered Vorticai's phylactery location. Let's ride back.
Ah, yes!
Oh, we got attacked by a plant.
that is now canon. It is not what happened in any way,
Now we
shape,
have-
or form, but
now
it
we-
is canon.
now we have to object read it because what if? Like, even if it's a 0.001% chance that whatever you see gives us a clue to Vorticai by some off chance,
I will read every object I ever.
every rock, every stone.
Every rock, every tree, no stone left on object. Red flip stone goes.
No, I think we're fine. If you
A
don't.
halfling lay here. Okay, yeah.
That's exactly what I was imagining too. All right. Well, then I guess we're heading west.
Go west,
Towards-
young
Down
reclaimers.
the river.
Down the river. Okay, sounds good to me.
Little Sullen River.
The little Selin River. And you move down that way, and I've gone Scottish, and I don't know why. I'm prepping for my 5e game, I guess. What's in that square? What's in the square? That square is clear. Did you guys want to rest at all?
Yeah, I think we should because
That's not a bad idea. We can get some more draconic lessons in too overnight.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like, Sanya reminds, like, we should probably get our wits about us because we're gonna be coming up on a shipwreck, and who knows what's in that what we'll find in there.
Gotta make sure we have all of our spell slots and all of our rounds of rage ready.
Right. I think that's a good call, knowing that ogre we fought a while back, was it an ogre? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, you are.
Had that anchor, so it begs to reason that there may be more ogres in this area.
That's
This
a reasonable assumption.
we might even be coming up on the location of that cave that I saw.
Where they found him. Maybe.
I will keep watch on the 4 of us, unless anyone particularly wants to go to sleep.
I mean, that just gives us more time to learn Draconic.
Pretty
Oh
much.
god.
Put on the coffee. We have to teach this newborn who's more intelligent than half of us how to speak.
Senya, exhausted from practicing nonviolent approach to killing things, is going to go to bed.
Got it.
Fair enough.
Alrighty.
Magical
so,
caffeine is great and all, but there's nothing like a good snooze every once in a while.
honestly, like, in a world where Keep Watch exists, I genuinely am concerned for, like, the mental well-being of a lot of people, because you are
Same.
forcing your brain to stay on for days on end. Your body is fine. I feel like that's the literal, like, you are brain tired, not body tired, that kind of thing, and you just go.
No, that's good for you guys. Don't listen to him.
Like,
Or-
yeah, you're awake, but you're also hallucinating.
Yeah, it's like that experiment they did in Russia in like 1918 or something, where folks stayed
Oh,
up
yeah.
for days on end and went
Oh, yeah.
fucking mad.
Even if the magic like prevents fatigue and as you called it brain tiredness or anything like that, there's a certain enjoyment that comes from like a good sleep, like that feeling of comfort and being refreshed. Like I don't think I would ever want to like not ever have to sleep again. Like
As
Well-
someone who suffers from chronic insomnia, I would love to sleep.
Yep.
Fine, I'll just keep watch myself. Screw you guys.
no, I want to. No, we're staying up to learn.
No, Ionia will stay up.
Yeah,
She's
Kato.
teaching.
And Kato's studying, as is
Nice.
Prince.
All I'm saying is IRL, I could use somebody casting sleep on me from time to time.
Yeah. I cast
Hey,
man.
don't give Tommy any ideas.
Oops, got him. Ah, shit. Okay, so I just need to now go back and check some things. I guess what I'll say is I've been kind of bopping around how the hell to roleplay something who's new to this world, but as smart as I am. So it's probably just a sensation of like everything is new and oh my god, what is that? Looking at like a blade of grass, that kind of thing. It doesn't take long for the Red Prince to pick up, I'll say, one language of your choosing and probably a couple words of whatever, like if Draconic, then broken, crappy common. If common, then like Fusroda, right? Everyone is yoked into the river. You all die. Ah, shit. We said the magic word. Adovakin! But, should be good. In the morning, nothing really bad happens tonight, unless, Artoris, you want to do anything in particular over the course of the watch. Look around, go places.
Scream out into
I
the
will always
sky. Die, Vorticai.
perception check for Vorticai.
Can we get one perception for Vorticai for every 6 seconds of the night?
Just keep spamming perception. Be that I'm the pretty bird and Artoris is the raven. Just perception to find the lich. Is there a lich here? And I'm just for 3 hours. This is my job. I mean, I work service industry when I'm not doing this. That's net better still than being in the service industry. I will say that. What do I do with Vorticai's token? He appears. No, he.
With Jublost nearby, Parlavash pops over and creates Vorticai illusions.
I wish you hadn't said that because that was a great idea.
That big- That would have been
Giving him ideas.
that would have been great if the massive Vorticai appearance that happened after the plant then went poof and it was just
Just like old times.
just what's his name?
Throwback.
The little fairy dragon.
You mean
Just
Oh.
Snickers.
You just said it.
Yeah, I forget.
Got him. Okay, so the night passes uneventfully, with the exception of a a new baby boy being able to learn a language, and y'all are
Draconic.
draconic.
How's Kato's coming along?
Kato will probably take to like level up. Kato could probably like find important things. If he were to be dropped in a city right now where the primary language is Draconic and no one else speaks anything else, he could probably make his way around, take care of himself, buy things, sell things, not offend anyone, but will be a little longer before he has mastery of the language.
Gotcha, he's got like 7th grade Spanish level.
Yeah, something like.
So I would insult every Draconic person that I spoke to. They'd understand me, but they'd be like,
That
"Jeez,
was
man."
past participle, roll for initiative! Alrighty, so then y'all then head on, I assume, the
Yes.
morning of the 4th of Gosrin to that sweet, sweet shipwreck. And if y'all could roll for perception. If I remember correctly, Jubilos is literally waiting in this square, or this hex right here for you, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Oh, well, Arcturus, never mind.
Yeah, kinda. If the Inquisitor would please do what he does best. And everyone just try their best, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even know why I bother.
The ship has
None
been
of us are looking for a
sitting...
lich.
Yeah. The ship has been sitting for a really, really long time at this point. On the order of like 7-8 months, I believe it has been here. So when you come upon it, it's very rotten, decrepit. The boards are moldy and sad. The wind picks up a little and like causes it to creak dangerously. And then like the main mast doesn't just break off and just whoop into the water, but it does crack and lean about 15 degrees over in response. There is very obviously where the anchor used to be, there is now just a big hole where it, like somebody grab anchor, put foot on ship, yank, and then here's my new weapon. Other than that, the area is probably just a little like eerie, honestly. It's real quiet.
Since
Are
motive
we-
on the ship.
Are we able to ascertain like what caused the ship to become shipwrecked?
With some investigation, yeah, probably. Some like survivals or recognition would not get it at all now. Survivals, going into the ship and looking around, those kinds of things. Okay. Senia bravely moves forward into that chat. I like this look. It's a good look for Senia. Bravely going where no barbarian has gone before. The ship is a mimic. Sucks to suck. Mordecai Jr. No, it's probably one of the first things you come upon is, oh god, my NSA agent is going to be really happy with me. I need to know what happens to a humanoid body after 8 months of decomposition
Oh wow.
to a body after 8 months of decomposition. Because that's what you find. Oh god, there's so much. How long does it take for a body to naturally decompose? 8 to 12 years.
So what was happening with us 8 months ago?
This is around the time the assassination attempt happened.
Gotcha, okay.
Or like shortly before. And there are like probably about 15-20 bodies just kind of strewn about in various stages of decay. It probably stinks in here. There's a lot of like flies, a lot of probably, it's not quite warm enough for mosquitoes, but we certainly have made a great place for their larvae and like maggots and other kinds of, and cockroaches and things like that as well.
Kato's gonna wait outside.
Some of the bodies are missing like an arm, which then you find 15 feet over just a bone, which Senia can very clearly pick out. Means that somebody probably killed that dude, broke off his arm, and ate it like it was a drumstick at the Ren Fair, which then you can track back real hard to that ogre.
So it stands to reason the ogre did all this.
Certainly he was responsible for the murders. Or she was a she. Yeah. Certainly she was responsible for the murders, but as far as the ship actually coming to a stop is a little harder to say because the Little Sellen is little, but it's still like we're comparing the tributary of like the Mississippi River to the Mississippi River. It's still a really big river. And the ship has run aground. So like something else had to happen here to give the ogre the opportunity. With the nobility check, there are...
Kato, get in here!
I gotta follow the
Down
Little
here.
Sullen. Where does it go? I need to move my map of the inner sea to this wall, not that wall, so I can trace this damn river and be like, where does it go? It does bear the mark of a minor trading company.
The nobility check actually got us something.
Yeah.
I was just joking, but that's good.
That's a tributary of the Shrike, which feeds into the da-ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, there's a map. Dang. I'll just follow that map. Where does it go? It's a tributary of the Shrike River. It's a tributary of the mighty Sellen River, which the Sellen River takes you. It's one of the most heavily traveled waterways in eastern Avestan and runs all the way down to Casimir in Taldor. So yeah, a very minor trading house. You don't remember exactly the name, but like you've seen the brand before somewhere in Restov, and it kind of half clicks in your head.
This was a trading ship,
Yeah.
likely.
Somebody
A
all the
trading
way
ship.
from Taldor, and they'd come this far up north, and then presumably they were trading with different people like up and down the Sellen, and then from there get on the Shrike River, take it down a little bit, down the Little Sellen to who knows where. Eventually this river would terminate like over here, but if there was something magical that could cause the boat to like portage over the mountains or something, or even like take it up through the Tuskwater past y'all's house, you could take the Shrike all the way up to like Restov and beyond. But there doesn't seem to be, as like Sene is looking around, if there's anything magical here or even like of value, it has very long since been looted.
Taken. Boo.
Well,
On that note, I would like to sift just in case you're lying to us.
Yeah, fair. As you do, as you do.
I mean, it wouldn't be lying. It's just nothing would be of apparent value.
Yeah, you do find some like, I won't say secret doors, but like a stash under somebody's bunk or in the captain's cabin. There's a safe, that kind of thing, that is obscured by a wood panel that you just slide over, but they are all super empty.
Hmm.
That said,
It's the captain. Were we able to locate the captain of the ship?
yeah, he's among the dead.
Does he have any identification on him?
Not really.
Identifying.
Not anything more than like he is dressed a little better than his peers, which would indicate he's probably the captain. Also very dead, also very maggot infested, also very like probably missing a 1d4 limbs which have been chewed upon by the ogre.
The state of the boat itself, obviously capsized or whatever, and kind of creaking and breaking, but worth anything in like construction supplies?
Honestly, if you could get it back home somehow, you could like salvage the wood if you really wanted to. It's not great, but it is also free timber. You also would be mechanically like, I don't know exactly what the cost of this would be, but about half-ish way towards having a ship of your own, because like it's in a bad way, a very bad way, but it could be fixed. And it would be,
Maybe it'd be like spoopy and haunted.
and maybe it would be spoopy and haunted.
Those are the best kind of ships.
Okay. Well, let's put them.
We'll
gonna
call
put
it the Flying Dutchman.
I'm going to put
Yes.
a marker on my map to remind me that we should attempt to salvage this at some point.
So we still don't know what caused the shipwreck.
Right. It seems to be the ship ran aground at some point. Like it would had to have deliberately turned and gone into the shore, because again the river is very wide.
Did we get anything off of my spellcraft?
Not really. I mean, that's not true. You would. There is some magic that certainly would cause a ship to do that. If you were to swim under, probably the first thing that pops to Ionia's mind is there is a spell, a pretty common primal spell that you dive under the water, tag a boat or any wood, and it will cause the wood to literally warp. This can do anything from cause like a wooden palisade to get out, or to just like snap your fingers, touch a ship, the ship sinks. That could have happened. Any kind of magic that influences the weather in a local area that's like, no, we need to stop right now. Oh my god, pull over. Or even like monsters that inhabit the little Selen that might cause a ship to like, we should let this unintelligent but very so odds are it could have been that like there's some kind of monster in the water that they need to immediately pull over to let this like non-intelligent but very scary thing pass by. But there's all of this is like borderline on hearsay.
Okay. And I had another question. Give me a second to remember what it was.
I'm going.
Oh.
If there's no objections while people are milling about, I'm going to start preparing to burn the bodies in like a pyre, rather than just leaving them hot like this.
Okay, sounds good.
So
Senya will assist.
the bodies look like they are about 8 months dead, judging by maybe like the weathering of the ship. Does it look like the ship has been kind of out of commission for about that long as well?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
While you guys dispose of the bodies, Kato will have none of that.
Yeah, it's
And,
probably real gross.
He's
The Red
kind of
Prince is a
thickening
little
on
curious.
this.
There's a very big slimy yet satisfying vibe probably comes as like a body is pulled out, the stump is just like off-white from maggots that are crawling up, and the Red Prince just turns it. Bakken shakes head no. And then in Draconic, delicate cuisine for me, yes? Hakuna Matata dives on.
You do you, buddy. And Kato swiftly exits the ship back onto the shore.
Indeed, the prince goes like, Senya, you're dragging. I'm going to say, yeah, probably like an arm with the stump that is very continuing that Renfest vibe, very drumsticky. And the Red Prince just flies over. Do you speak Draconic?
I do not.
And it says a phrase in Draconic you don't understand. It becomes clear that you don't understand it, and it looks Bakken, and then bites down on the limb and pulls all the maggots off in one.
Okay. Buddy, you can have all the maggots, though I'm not sure it's a good idea to feed you limbs.
You've got the biggest, brightest knowledge nature check in the party short of Ionia. A red dragon's stomach is so hot that, like, it could eat the ship and find nourishment from it, because it's just going to burn it.
I don't want it to develop a taste for human flesh.
That's actually a pretty good idea to not. Yeah.
Starts nomming on the most noble looking of all the bodies.
Yeah,
looks
are you
up.
gonna get your
Kato?
your buddy
Kato?
in line?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, as all of this is happening, I imagine Minoru, being a dog, is probably rooting around those bodies as well. So I imagine there's a little bit of a wrestling going on between Ionia and Minoru as she's trying to keep him from eating the decrepit bodies.
Minoru, leave it. Oh. Alrighty, so the bodies, the funeral happens in pretty short order. It's not. There's certainly enough dry wood. Actually,
I have what do you call it? One of those
portable pyre.
No, I have
like tinder
I
twigs.
still have one of one of those alchemist fires. I still have another.
No, we're not gonna burn it out. We don't need to burn an alchemist fire to start up.
The wood is very wet. You will objectively have to use Greek fire, or these bodies will haunt you. Evermore.
Alchemist
Oops,
fire
30
is
ghosts.
a valuable.
I mean, I do have a
weapon
flint and
knife.
steel too, so
There you go.
In any case, it can be done
alternatively.
easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I cast fireball.
Also,
Oh
no,
my
you're a
God.
swashbuckler. No, you don't. Don't lie to me. God, you just have the fucking dragon do it. Like, just.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you come-
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we have a literal walking torch.
You have the tiniest flamethrower this world has ever seen. It now rides on Kato's back, making a very clear target for all the snipers. That's terrifying. But, yeah, no, in short order, the bodies are laid to rest. Nothing happens in response. But, like, it is a good thing. Anybody else got anything they want to do poking around the ship? Any ideas how to get the ship anywhere?
I mean, we'll probably have to send a crew out to tear. I don't
Are
know if we
we-
want to.
Is it possible to tie ropes to the ship and have the horses pull it as it's like on the water, kind of like a canal type situation?
Like the horses walk along the edge, pulling
Yeah.
the wood in the water.
Yeah.
So
Certainly.
you said it's okay.
It would be difficult. You would want a crew that knows what they're doing. Otherwise, they're gonna just tear up the bottom of the ship. But you can
How
do it, yeah.
about how about like a, since I'm so good at that these days, yeah.
Yeah, Ionia,
Um,
you instinctively know how to portage a ship of this size. You're not really sure how, but like, oh no, it'd be this. You need this. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like, if you had the tools and the people power and the resources, you could do it yourself.
So we,
Oh,
need
this
to,
is easy. We just need this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the people, the means.
so we need to get some people from Rooston to assist. But
I look at Ionia like, why do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
But I don't ask the question. I'm just sort of puzzled.
as she's wearing the really strange looking beanie on her head with the two eyes poking out of the two eye holes on her poking out of her forehead.
The beanie of vast intelligence +4. We are now playing Shadowrun. But I digress. Anything else anybody wants to do here? Or is it, do we go meet up with Jan
Let's go.
Jubilost?
Yeah, let's go see what Juby has found. Hopefully he's. I mean, it's a good thing we took this route and didn't give him the route that had the siren and the giant killer plant. Yeah.
Indeed.
It's a Rusalka. They're different.
Yeah, it's a Rusalka. They're different.
Whatever. It's a siren.
Yeah, kind of. It's a Slavic siren. Alrighty, so y'all move forward. I want to double check really quickly to make sure that Jubilost would have definitely gotten here. There is a small... He definitely, if he's here, he has stuff to tell you, or if he's not here, that will tell you stuff. That was
boy.
about as clear as mud, I'm sure. So he wanted to do those squares, which have those, and the most important one is probably this.
Yeah,
Right?
the Ash Maiden's with him too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he has folks with him. Okay, so yeah, indeed, Jubilost is there waiting for you. He's kind of just like the wagons are circled. You probably hear him long before you see him, just regaling his folks who have abandoned they probably have dropped the title of Ash Maiden pretty darn quickly and just gone back to I guess if the remaining reclaimers would like to give them a title or assign them to something, they can. Otherwise, they're just kind of soldiers.
Yeah, I had claimed them 2 sessions ago, I think.
You had made a request for them.
No, I claimed them.
She was gonna do spy things with them, as I recall.
Which I think
yes,
is
yes.
much more fitting for them than any sort of like soldier or guard position.
I don't know. They're all barbarians, though. Barbarians aren't very.
I mean, are they?
Technically, they are like Gnome Barbarian 1, but they can be retrained.
I guess retraining level ones are pretty easy. So it's only 100 gold per. So
Some like. Anyway, y'all turn the corner. The wagons are circled. You hear Jubilost long before you see him. Well, that was invigorating. Anyone see anything? You kind of see him crawl up on top of a wagon that somehow supports his weight. He looks around. All right, well, all of you know the drill. Circle up. Watches in groups of 3. Be loud if you see anything that looks, less than living. Presumably, we'll all make it out just fine. Where are they? Hopefully
Ionia slow motion rugs into a hug embrace, swinging Jubilost around.
Oh, my dear, my dear. Oh, and as this happens, he screams, and
Right.
all of his folks like immediately draw crossbows and like turn and draw down on you, and then they realize it's you, and then they stop that, and it's like, wow, hi, you're alive. You're in one piece. All of you are in one piece, not consumed by the little carnivore, or well, you know. And he kind of like looks off into the sky again. I don't suppose our esteemed guest has made himself known to you.
No, but we met a Rusalka, and then I got swallowed by a plant, and just like my ancestor Drax the literal, I burst forth from its belly, and it was dead.
I see. So still shat upon, even when our worst fears are not upon us. He pinches the bridge of his nose and pushes his glasses up. Fair enough, fair enough. Any sign
Have
of...
you found anything?
Why, yes, actually. And he pulls out a map, lays it flat on like the ground, and begins to do a doodle on the world map, because he in fact has found some stuff. Boom, bang, get these arrows out of here. Probably the first most important bit. Let me get it out of the way now. I have not found anywhere that perhaps a long-lost empire of Cyclops and their evil, unholy overlord might be napping in wait for us.
Oh, damn it.
That said, it's actually not quite far from here, an old abandoned ferry station.
I'm sorry, a ferry station?
Yes, as in like Ferry to take people across the river, if you will.
Oh, I was thinking like a ferry station.
Yes, indeed, a gate to the first world. We're all possessed. I'm so sorry. I'm actually a CR20. What's a CR25? I'm actually a member of the Wild Hunt now. Roll for initiative. And that's been this whole session. Is Tommy is slap happy? It's back that way, where the Little Selin and that river that isn't named on the map, where they meet.
Oh yeah, there's also a shipwreck that we came across.
Right, I remember we talked about this. We believe our large friend who brained me once was his, yes?
I mean,
Heard our conversation at the old Elven Tower somehow, Jubilost.
No, we talked about that like way back when. Like that was a long object reading. Was grab this. It came from a shipwreck.
Did we?
Did
Could-
we?
Yeah, I've been sitting on like, here's a boat. They could have a boat for a very
okay.
long time.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all want
This
a
is a
boat?
much bigger deal to you than it was.
Do you want a boat,
yeah.
or do you want 6 months of Kingdom Turn? You got 6 months of Kingdom Turn. Or do you want a Golden Age?
and then to lose a third of your golden age in a single night.
A Bronze Age, if you will. You all are now members. You are not Cato. You are Alexander the Great. But I'm just gonna make bad jokes for 3 hours and slam my chair.
All right.
Farther back. There is. Honestly, you may have heard rumors of this. Quick knowledge local check.
Ooh, I have local. It's not great.
26 has to do with humans or orcs.
Yeah,
that works.
that was terrible.
Okay, so yeah, Iona, you do know it's over here. The place is called the Mud Bowl, but what it is, it's not mud so much as like tar, or it's an area where the ground dips down like 20 feet or so, and moisture has occurred, and like the mud has turned brackish and thicker than mud because right under it, it's heated by geothermal activity. It's not hot enough to hurt anyone, but it does like smell pretty bad on the south end of the Tuskwater. You've probably heard the Uruxi talk about it. It is a hotbed for like strange mushrooms and fungi of all kinds that are like just they thrive in that region.
So it would be a good like place to scavenge
Yeah.
or forage.
If you
It'd
were,
be a good place to get ingredients for porridge.
yeah, scavenge, forage, get ingredients for porridge. That's the new. I cast the augury. Where are the boon radishes? It's also like, I guess another good way to put it is the place kind of has, maybe not all of you will understand this, but like Golgari swarm written all over it. It's a very
Hmm.
fertile bit of land. It's stinky. Things are dead there, but from that death indeed grows life. You could, if you were to build a settlement on that hex, I won't necessarily say weaponize it, but like in the same way that there's hot springs up here, there's this bit there.
So a place where Erasto kind of like blessed the place with like lots of growth, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
A certain manner of speaking.
In a
I love
manner of
that.
speaking. You might turn to who is a non-evil deity who is associated with death and decay?
Nurgle.
No, he's very evil. God, I don't. All the ones I can think of are demon lords. I'm sure there's some not evil fungus god somewhere. He's among us. But yeah, other than that, that's
Fungus among us.
unfortunately no sign of any untoward individuals. But there are those. If we should happen to survive this, not the worst place to expand, especially given the necessity to rethink our treaties, if you will.
So, quick recap. We split into 3. We had Dazia go talk to the forest. We had us go to the east, and we had Juby go to the south.
Yeah, Dazia
Juby
reported
and we both found mud, and Dazia found
an army.
Tiger Lords.
another threat.
Pretty much.
We all found
So the good news is that we don't have a lich literally in our backyard. So that's something.
I'd rather
right?
use it in their backyard, actually.
It's more
Well, I
like
don't-
it's more
I
like
don't
the
know.
lich is in the next subdivision over, but can
Yeah.
easily drive to your backyard.
Yeah, but at least there's a bit of travel time there.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Literally teleported directly
you
into my...
know what? Just
So-
get out of here.
All right. On a positive note here, would the Ash Maidens with the instructions of Ionia and her epic role, be able to salvage the shipwreck and get it down the river to the Tuskwater?
Probably, maybe it would, with 10 gnomes and 1 Ionia and whatever resources that would be on hand there, it would take a long time to do, but they could do it. You're looking at like send a team of like 50 odd trained engineers.
Not 10 level 1 gnome barbarian.
Not
handful of
not
gnomes.
someone who is
Yeah.
really smart and knows what they're doing and 10 like rounds of muscle to enact the will. That doesn't mean that like there's not material there. That doesn't mean that they won't screw up, so on and so forth. That also would then leave Ionia sitting at a shipwreck by herself for a while, defeating the buddy system.
True.
I'd have 10 level 1
Have-
gnomes.
she'd
for
I
that.
have
she'd
10 buddies. More buddies than everyone, and now they all die.
Was there anything found at the abandoned ferry station?
Unfortunately, no. Not more than old decrepit boats and buildings. If you were to build a town there, certainly you'd be halfway to a pier or a dock, or even just build a road there and put someone there. Oh, Mr. Nettles, perhaps his ghost will come back in life and charge people 5 copper pieces over time. That's like a build point a year to carry people across the river.
It's awfully
Well,
mechanical of you, Juby.
We
I know, right?
we also found a ferry station in this direction.
Did we?
Yeah. Different kind of ferry station,
Oh,
but
God damn it.
Oh, god damn it, indeed.
I understood that.
I understood that
And-
reference.
And Kato throws Ionia into the river.
I'm pretty dexterous these days.
At the bottom of the river awaits.
And I don't think you're that strong.
so many bushes at the bottom of the river. They reach up, and then you get greased by Pearl of Ash, and it sucks, and you die.
It's a kelp
Do we
forest.
want
I know
to-
how to drop my weight.
Before we head back, do we want to explore that hex at all? Since we're here.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right, so hold on. All right, so this hex had nothing, Tommy?
The hex that everyone is. Yeah, no, nothing there.
This one had the mud bowl, which is the pit of death and decay that will become a excellent farmland in the future.
It's
It
the-
sounds like a sporting event.
Yeah, kind of.
from the book. And then this is the ferry station, which had nothing else really of note.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say we tag here and then we go home.
I was thinking too.
Right.
Okay, sounds good to me. So
Every time I see Candlemere Tower ruins, I get
I
sad.
cry. Me too.
I know.
So slowest move speed in the party is now 20 as we go. Well, no, we got wagons and things. We'd be
Who's
fine.
20?
The gnomes in armor.
Also, I'm 20.
Actually, I think
And
the
so,
gnomes in armor would be like 15. Anyway, as y'all make your way down, you do, because Artoris would find it easy peasy with a perception check, there is a cave, kind of just like, the river runs, and there's a point where, like, during a time where it was a little high, it has eroded part of the bank into a really crappy little cave, which Ionia would recognize from an object reading so long ago was formerly the den of an ogre.
Ah, we found it.
sift.
Alrighty.
Mystery solved, guys.
And you
Now look for a phylacter.
you go sifting. It's long been abandoned and probably just been reclaimed by nature. The most you do is probably disturb, like, it's April, we are in Michigan, essentially. I don't know if, yeah, I assume like water moccasins would thrive that far north probably during this time of the year. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but you just disturb some local wildlife which goes scurrying off into the river to get away from the scary thing.
So, quick out of character question. I'm from a place where moccasins are shoes. What's a water moccasin?
A very
That's a
poisonous
snake.
snake. They are
Gotcha.
they live in the rivers around here, and they, like, lots of folks will get in kayaking accidents because they'll, like, they won't see a nest of water moccasins because it'll just look like flotsam and jetsam basically, and then
Well,
you go through it, you piss off all the snakes, they bite you, you die.
as someone who just moved closer to Michigan than I've ever been and loves kayaking, thanks for that warning.
Yeah, water moccasins are rude. I don't know if you get them that far north. I know you get them where I live. You probably get them where the second half of the Reclaimers live too, I assume. But anyway, I digress.
I know they're out in Florida because there was like warnings we were given when we were like out in Dade County that like to watch out for water moccasins when we were like on the water.
Florida is like the Australia of America. All of our dangerous things are there.
Yeah, kind of. Bath salts. But anyway, you probably sifting probably does find some really old humanoid bones because, like, you know, an ogre lived here, and maybe like some scraps of 8 months ago might have been somebody's like gambeson, which is now just rotten cloth, basically, long abandoned, but it was here.
Well, this has been a nice return to the past of exploring and
Yeah,
finding little tiny problems and
solving little tiny problems with your sword.
yeah. But now we gotta go back and
Or we could just keep exploring. It's
No.
kind of nice.
I mean, you
Kind of
guys
a nice
have
change.
knocked off a lot of the board by doing this. Almost like all of the Kame lands are now explored, minus like down here. And really, like, all of the characters know you're not going to find Vorticai's phylactery unless you are out looking for Vorticai's phylactery. So all of you get the sense you are on the right path, both in terms of immediately right now and the future of Concordia. That said, it has been a few days, so it probably weighs on the back of everyone's head that you could go back home and home has been burned to the ground.
Let's go back home.
Wait, here's an idea.
we're going back home.
That's the idea.
But we can insight check to get a hunch, right? Can we just like from time to time get a hunch on where the phylactery is?
Or in a you know,
He basically just threw us a hunch.
I mean, you
which
can
is-
also roll for it, like, if you would like to.
What was it? Sense motive?
Yeah. So the give me a knowledge history check too, actually, also.
I wish I could.
same.
So y'all know that it's the Taurus 11Es was where lots of folks were exploring. You've been pointed there by a couple of sources at this point. The history check would tell you easy peasy that a long time ago there used to be a Cyclops Empire here, and they were pushed back. They originally came from and were pushed back to Eobaria, which is on the, like, to the ruler tool. Oh, that way. So the direction of, like, Dunsword, the Tors 11 East, things like that would be a logical place if you were looking for, like, where is an old
remnants of
Cyclops
that-
burial ground or a
Yeah,
long
the-
lost city. Exactly.
So
We're
they were kind of originally from that area and then went to Eobaria.
Yeah. That's
Pre-Eobaria, they were down here. All right.
That said, that it's not outside of Vorticai's wheelhouse, especially, like, whether or not Tommy dropped the ball and when Artoris changed his character, and I didn't realize how much Artoris was different. Haha! Look at these monsters that I've built specifically to combat the crossbowmen. Look at them all die in 6 seconds. Oh shit, I fucked up. Oh poop. But I'm still inevitable, haha. Other than, like, if he is smart enough to do what he's doing and he's crafty enough, there's nothing to say he couldn't just take his phylactery anywhere up to and including, like, out of the Stolen Lands. If you pressure him
Right.
too hard, he'll just go to ground somewhere. So once you find the thing, swift, decisive action will be pretty necessary.
So what we should do is deal with him one more time, and then in that CD phase, book it out there and try and catch and find it.
Catch him during respawn timer. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Which is
The concern is just that each time we deal with him, like what tragedy befalls us that time. Last time, so many people lost their lives. What
Yeah.
next?
Actually, the last time he hardly did anything. He
Time
tech-
before
The
that.
time before last time.
those two times happened, like, back to back. That was, you guys are,
one
like,
day.
when Artoris says hit him in the cooldown, that's perfect. That is 100% what you want to do, because then he will not be able to respond. The cooldown is, we are presently in Schrodinger's cooldown. Like, he is both fully reformed and invisible 30 feet overhead, or presently coming back to unlife. So without that stimulus, without knowing if he's back up amongst y'all, it's hard to say.
Well, here's a thought: is if we are moving toward where his phylactery is, he would be more likely to hit us rather than our kingdom, right?
Yes, that is, playing chicken with a lich is not the worst strategy.
So that would be my thought, is that maybe returning home makes home more vulnerable.
But as Tommy said, he could already be there,
Indeed.
Sure.
So,
burning everything down around.
but it also stands to reason that every time he has showed up, except for the very first time when, like, you killed his familiar. Then he's like, no, I'm gonna burn this town. Haha. But, like, he brought your castle down to try to kill you. He dropped a trench mist not on Concordia's people, because that would have been disastrous had he done so. No, he dropped it on Artoris. He's going for you. If you're in Concordia when it happens, there will be collateral damage, certainly. If you are not in Concordia and he is looking for you, there will be collateral damage, maybe.
Mhm.
It's a very, I guess I'm gonna say, as all of you sit around the campfire outside this, like, den, basically now, all of these thoughts press in on all of you. It's very clear that the next couple steps will be really important. You, I guess, further consider that if Restov has stationed a sizable force at what was formerly Oleg's trading post, if they decide they want the thing you've built and there's no one left to defend it, that is also a bad thing. Figure it out between you and I.
He's trying to stop you from giving us hints on how to stop him.
Yeah, exactly. The ghost of Vorticai. if the Tiger Lords decide that the Tiger Lords want to take all of your shit and take it back to the Glenabin Uplands, or like even farther, take it back to Numeria and vendor off in Torch to get more of whatever they need to thrive, function, better weapons, better armor, and then come back and do it again. Vorticai is kind of just a plague that makes all of these things easier. So yeah, I'll be done expositioning there, and how y'all proceed with that is up to y'all.
I think we need. So I kind of like what Ione is saying, where if we want to fight him, we want to fight him away from the populace and the towns. And if there's any way we can even go one step further and like draw him out, goad him somehow into, attacking us on our quote unquote, like on our term, more on our terms than his terms, kind of like how you smushed us when we smushed his familiar and he came to us, right? Like, if assuming he's alive or he's reconstituted, like how can we?
I think what we ought to do is not like beeline directly for the area we think he is, but just kind of like, saunter around these areas, like get a little close for comfort without showing intention, so that he might be like, oh, they're just gonna kind of stumble upon me if I don't do something about it. The impression I got was that the Rosslandi troops are more so shoring up their borders in defense of the Tiger Lords, and are not as concerned with us right now. Who knows what the Tiger Lords are up to? But
Yeah,
I don't think the
clearly
troops
looking for
are a concern right now, and they don't exactly. I mean, they could be scrying to see if anybody's home, but likely they're not doing that.
If we're milling about in the direction of his phylactery, why wouldn't he just say, I'm going to move my phylactery? Why would he be like, they're coming my way, I'm going to go attack them so that if I die, they'll be right near me?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's my only concern, is heading. We don't want to tip him off at all in any way that we.
So maybe right. So maybe we just kind of like get these or
So
something.
we want to make ourselves appear.
Way.
I'm just worried that like we're assuming he's going to continue to behave in the same way he's behaved up until now, which I mean is a fair assumption, but it's not a guarantee. He could be like, you know what, this time around, while they're gone, I'm just going to burn all their shit to the ground, so when they come back, they have nothing, and then I'll kill them. Like, yeah, I'm really worried
that might just do that.
Might just change things up, right? Like
we can get over to that area. We have the road to the crossing, and then do we go through the Health Knight Citadel and then head south?
Could do.
There's a road there. I mean,
the Hell Knights did build a bit of a road. We could also cross the Gudrun River, head all the way over. We'd have to cross a couple rivers, which we have flight now. We have multiple ways of flying.
The problem is that when I fly, that affects my ability to counterspell.
Well, I'm more just worried that you might not even have the duration on the flight to pass the mountain range that we're looking at.
Mountain range, probably not. I have 9 minutes.
That's true. We need to get around. Okay. Yeah, no, so we're gonna have to pay our old friends a visit.
Hey, just passing through, gotta go.
Ione's gonna get to meet the tiefling.
No, thank you. We're gonna want to get climbing equipment, I guess.
What?
Well, if we don't think we're gonna be able to.
Well, no, we're gonna go. We're gonna see where the Hell Knight Citadel is.
Well,
we can pass through the mountain range there. And
okay,
then go
right, but then
south.
there's still like all of this thick mountain range down here, right? Isn't this kind of where we're heading?
If we think it's in the mountains, then that's a whole different problem. I will not be able to accompany you, just straight up.
No climb checks for him.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna go well. Unless Prince carries around and the rest of you.
I think we're hoping that it's more like somewhere in one of the hexes or in and around the mountain. Hopefully not in the mountain itself. If it is, then I mean that's a bridge we might have to cross when we get there. But that would be very non-ideal. But we're looking for a crypt because we saw from Ionia's, or we didn't see. Sorry, Ionia saw from her vision, or whatever it is she does, her hocus pocus stuff, witchy stuff, that he was inside a Cyclopean crypt, which means, did the Cyclopses build their cities and their crypts and stuff in the mountains, or were they history buff? Like, where would they have built such a thing?
So out of character, I know of one Cyclopean ruin which sits atop a mountain in Brevoy. Beyond that, I guess here's a history check.
You also know it in character. Yeah, no, mountains are great places to fortify, and they've become mausoleums. You'd almost say necropolis at this point, TBH. Yeah, mountains are a really easy place to fortify. You would see somebody coming for ever and ever off, and you're big, you're strong. Climbing a mountain does not really inconvenience you as much as it might, say, like a random Khalid tribe that has traveled across this way, or when the elves were more populous in this region, so on and so forth.
Now, but are we talking in the mountains, as in like you would need to climb like cliff walls, or are we talking like in the mountains, like there would be like some kind of like mountain trail leading to a fortified cave? Like, is it something that could be traversable by mere mortals?
Theoretically, there was probably once a trail. Maybe that trail survives present day, or maybe the trail has just given way to nature and there have been too many landslides and junk, and so...
But I think the idea is that they would have built on the mountains, not in the mountains, right?
Yeah, or if there's not like a dwarven fortress kind of so much as just in a little bit.
And the sort of topography that we're dealing with, we couldn't have seen any of that from that old Evelyn Tower, right? I presume the mountains over there are higher than would otherwise obscure our vision.
Most likely. It depends on where you are looking or what you are looking for. Dawns on the man, the myth, the sense motive that if, with the knowledge of, maybe there's something like a little more like a natural formation that you are like, I'm going to look around here. If I, 1,000 years ago, had built a thing that would have been a great defensible position, it could have been there because based on the way the nature has reclaimed it as the ages have moved on, it would be a logical place to look.
Quick question, because I guess I missed this completely last week. I don't know if my... what the hell is Lenorm's skeleton?
It's like a... It's like a dragon without feet.
Oh, yes.
Really cool.
Okay. Yeah, the
big Norse dragon.
The big Norse dragon. I remember now. Okay. I was like, what? Okay. Cool. Neat.
And apparently, if you kill one, it's super bad luck.
Super bad luck.
The baddest.
All right. So, my thoughts. We go home. We fortify. We wait out the next respawn, and then assuming we survive, as soon as he's dead, we hit the road to the Hell Knight Citadel, full tilt. And then make our way down that way. Past to the Citadel. Maybe even, might even be able to get some Hell Knight support for if we do end up finding this mausoleum. Remember, guys, there are 3 more quote-unquote horsemen. We've only, the one we fought during the siege of Ruston. So we might need some Hell Knight support if we end up basically coming across an undead army protecting that mausoleum. I'm sure Mordecai, even dead, in respawn mode, has significant defenses to keep anyone who might stumble upon his crypt very dead.
Indeed.
Probably goes without saying, but I very much do not like the idea of fighting alongside Hell Knights, considering a lot of what I do, they probably will not like.
Yeah, I also don't love the idea of even introducing them to you at all
I second that.
But I don't know how to get around that. I mean, we could ask you to stay home, but that spoils the fun for you. That would be...
I mean, in your vision, he awoke the creature before he
True.
departed. So there's a possibility that they're not just
We're
like
all sleeping.
well, or that otherwise he had to use some sort of magic to bring them into being.
It's true. I'm just saying I don't think we should expect to waltz in
And
during
be
his
like, hey,
respawn.
yeah, that's true.
There's the Phylactery smash. You know, I think we're gonna have a hell of a fight on our hands regardless of whether he's
And
alive
certainly
or not.
it would be better not to fight the Lich where the Phylactery is, where he likely has even more power, more magic items, things like that.
Yeah, hopefully we get there before he's reconstituted. But if we happen to be too slow, we're gonna have to fight him with vision, because we've been fighting blind up until now. And yeah, whatever items and gear and whatever that he's been
Well, we really
reluctant.
should have the Hell Knights with us.
Yes,
They tracked Molly up for teleporting. They could probably track him.
That's also a good point. I think we're gonna need them. As strong as we are, I don't know if we can siege his base of operations with just what we have. I mean, he's suicide. He's been doing suicide runs on us and giving us a very, very tough time. And he's naked with none of his, like, he brought a rod with him once, but otherwise, I would assume all of his powerful magical items that he likely owns are with him in the crypt. Like, he'd be a lot stronger there if he happened to be reawakened when we arrived. In addition to his army, likely of undead soldiers, and possibly his generals as well. We're gonna need help. Worst case scenario, that is.
Well, what do we want to do? Are we going back home then?
I think we need to at least check in with Dazia, see if she's found anything else. She sent us the message but she might have spotted something else between then and now as well. And
Right.
Yeah,
let's do it. Unless there's any objection.
Presumably, you would like me to return with you as well, yes?
that would be swell. No, we're gonna send you out to the tours of whoever needs to go scout out a Lich's lair, who may or may not actually be like
Sitting there waiting.
waiting for him. Yeah. Yes, come back with us.
Yeah, alrighty. So y'all take off, camping there, then heading up. Takes you all told about a day, putting it then to the 6th of April, aka Gosrin, as you return back home. Not to put too... God, did I crash? I didn't crash again. No, I just watched my monitor not light up, and it was sad. But not to put too fine a point on it, but the next Kingdom Day will occur in 9 days. There will be consequences for not having dealt with Vorticai over the course of 9 days. Whether or not that's feasible is a different story, but like, that's when all the unrest is going to come down on you. It also dictates you should probably be home in 9 days.
Right.
To oversee the affairs of state and things like that. Home is in one piece as you return. Folks are generally happy to see you. The keep is not finished. Actually, why not? We'll say you get a report that the Hell Knight construction omancers, I suppose, will have finished rebuilding your keep in about the same time as the Kingdom Day.
I just imagine like a bunch of Hell Knights with like construction hats and like a union rep.
It's just I gotta get a
still in their full Hell Knight plate, just with
Right.
yellow hats. Yeah, yellow safety hats.
Can I get a good GIF? Can I get a good GIF? Why, when I type in Final Fantasy Judge, does it give me... No, you know what I'm looking for. You nerds. Where are... Not Sephiroth.
I do know what you're looking for.
Damn. There's a really good GIF from Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 12, where all the judges are walking in on that airship, on like the Ifrit, I think it was. But that, except the helmet, is just neon yellow. Anyway, moving on. Y'all make it home. Dazia hasn't returned yet, but home stands and everyone is happy to see you.
Senya would like to visit Bakken.
Okay, easy enough.
Okay. Bakken.
Bakken?
I assume mine stuff's going to kind of happen off screen, so I'll just kind of describe. So assuming we get home and we what time is it when we arrive back? Is it late?
You probably camped somewhere like that side of the river, and then first thing in the morning you wake up, have breakfast, travel for an hour or so, and then you're home.
Okay,
That kind of thing.
Cool. Then I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to take Prince to the kind of to the courtyard of the and show him the the training area that I used with Bakken in the past, and start introducing him, giving him a tour of the area, and then possibly running some seeing if he would like to run some drills, as I would like to do a little bit of retraining with his feats.
Yep.
As we discussed.
Indeed, and he's certainly down. It's all brand new to him. He understands how to basically speak with you well enough that we don't have to. I'm actually gonna go eat this sword, bro. Sorry, ha. But yeah, no, he gets it. He's more than ready, willing, and able to learn whatever you'll give him.
All right, and I've already shown you everything that I wanted to set him up with for his first 7 levels. So
Indeed.
I'm just gonna take the time to go through his character sheet to do that while you guys do whatever you want to do.
Alrighty, so Senia and Bakken are gonna go meet up. That leaves Ionia and Artorias. Anything you want to do now that you're back home?
I'd like to pick up the armor that I ordered.
Okay, and so you do.
Oh, while we're doing this,
I don't know how much time we have, so I'm trying to think.
While we're doing this, Tommy, how it's if I wanted to have a masterwork chain shirt barding made for Prince. He's a small creature, so barding doubles the cost,
and then
but
small,
then he's a
I
small
think, cuts
creature.
it in half again. So it'd be like base, I think.
Basic, okay. Would the blacksmith be able to pull something like that together fairly quickly?
Yeah, certainly. The only difference really between the Red Prince and a riding dog is the wings. So you would just leave a couple holes in the shoulder blades, more or less.
Cool. All right, so masterwork chain shirt.
Alrighty.
Barding.
Assuming you can afford it, it's easy enough to bang it out.
Yes. Cool. Don't say I never gave you anything, buddy.
Anything else from Ionia and Artorias in specifically today while we're home? Or I guess, do you want 24 hours to pass? Do you want to be in town for that long?
Yeah, anything I have to do is going to be like a multiple day venture, so
That's
I will...
kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah,
I'll
same.
start crafting things, but who knows if I'll finish.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, same. The armor will probably take a day or two maybe to make, and the training will take a couple days. So
Alrighty. So
I think
then
we're probably just gonna either camp till Vorticus shows up or till Kingdom Turn happens, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, Senia Bakken is in his shop. You make your way in. He's playing with something or other, and then looks up and well, you don't usually come in here. Looks over your shoulder. Looks over your shoulder. Where's the dragon?
Kato has taken him to the training grounds to train him.
Fair. How's he enjoying fatherhood?
Strangely, it's kind of cute. He dotes over the thing. It's kind of adorable.
Huh. Alright, fair enough. Probably good for him in the long run. Anyway, what do you want?
That was rude.
My
I love
lady,
this guy.
Marshal, Warden, Keeper of the Grounds, and other titles as well.
Oh, well, I just came in here. In our travels and in our efforts to try and find the name that shall not be spoken's lair, we came across a carnivorous plant, so I gathered some acid from it. So I was hoping to trade for it if you're interested. I kind of dig out a couple of vials.
And he takes them from you, shakes it up a little bit, turns it over. That's a particularly large carnivorous he snaps. I believe they call them fly traps, yes?
Oh yes. In fact, did I ever tell you the tale of Drax the Literal, one of my ancestors?
No,
This-
in fact, you did not. Please regale me of all this fine Black Stag lore that we're currently making together. Don't
Drax
sue
the
me,
Literal.
Dizzy. Marvel,
Nice
you
to
stay
meet
out of
you.
my business.
Well, there's a legend in my tribe of Drax the Literal. He took everything in the most literal sense, and one day he fought a giant creature very similar to what we fought, and got swallowed whole by it, and then killed it from the inside and burst forth from its stomach and was victorious. And if I do say so myself, I kind of did the same thing.
Huh, fair enough. Well, I suppose there's only one thing for it. I'll have to get as famous as Critical Role so Batista can owe me a favor and we can make this actually happen for realsies. I now have goals. But
Nice.
he turns it over. Funny story, actually. This particular species of plant is a distant. I don't know if you'd call it second, third cousins, or plants are strange. What can I say? But you trace it back far enough, genetically speaking. They have a common ancestor with the. Do you remember that bush? The fangberry bush? It's not far from here. I asked you to gather some berries. I'm a little afraid of spiders. I believe Parlavash was himself the distant relation.
Yeah.
Turns out, funny story, some people speculate that, in fact, the fly trap is not from the planet Galarian originally, but from one of our closer neighbors. I am a scholar of a lot of things, the vastness of space and the stars and the other planets and things. Not exactly one of them, but he kind of shrugs a little bit. Yeah, no, in any case, if nothing else, I can use it as a simple solvent. Unless you'd rather keep it. I mean, I don't know. I imagine with Calera gone, maybe it's not as easy for all of you to kick down doors, but I mean, you're not weak. Your horse is not weak. That dragon is worrisome, and the term prince seems to indicate that you have. Is this the heir to the kingdom? Is this after we have all passed?
I keep thinking that name's a little too literal for my liking.
Indeed, and I have, not to put too fine a point on it, but my metabolism is a little faster than yours. I have 10 years at most before I become useless to you in any real capacity, and maybe 15 before I'm, fertilizer. All of you have, perhaps 40, 50, 60. I'm sorry, I don't mean to assume your age, but I'm assuming you land somewhere in there. Assuming you aren't burnt to a crisp, buried under rubble, dominated, or something that leads to your inevitable demise. That dragon will have just come to its proverbial 20s as you humans pass on to us. It's something to consider. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, yes, of course. And he pulls out probably 20 gold. Sets it on the counter. It's not a lot, frankly. I can generate something that's about as acidic as that with very little effort on my part. But I'm certainly willing to. It helps. It speeds up my process a little bit. Or you could keep it for yourself and, I'm just saying, if the Lich's phylactery ends up being like an iron lock or something, you drop it in some kind of container that has this, and over time it is dissolved. Food for thought.
Well, I honestly have very little use for it, but
All right, fair enough.
why don't you take it? And if we'll handle the Lich when he comes, and who's to say what's gonna happen, right? And I kind of rib him.
I suppose if I had to speculate, what probably happens is, well, given that I don't even remember what title she had. Given that the angry one is now gone, probably for the best if I'm honest with you, who does Vorticai turn on from? Does Vorticai even come after us? It was very obvious that he wanted to offer Kalira a deal she couldn't refuse, but refused several times. Now she's certainly isolated. Therefore, a weakness has been, dare I say, revealed. Does he show up here? Is he already out running around? Where is he? Do we have the ability to find him? There are a million different questions. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Well, I can assure you that we are looking for him.
On that note, give me a quick perception check.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's not, my perception's not terrible.
You notice a raven.
You notice, in fact, that I have been in cahoots with a goblin, a smart goblin, alchemist, with glasses, smoking a pipe, sitting in a library. This is completely uncanny and you never thought to question it. Haha, you nerd. No, kidding. Absolutely, but I'm gonna just keep making those jokes. What you actually notice is Bakken doesn't look like he's been drinking or smell like he's been drinking, but there are a couple of, like, bottles of some kind of middle-of-the-road alcohol. More so, it's too expensive to be used as an alchemical reagent, but, like, so cheap, I guess, that you wouldn't question it at first. Then you realize, no, you wouldn't, like, you could just use some, like, crappy grain alcohol if that's what you needed to make the alchemical formula. This is more along the lines of, like, probably like 4 or 5 bottles of wine in various stages of being drunk, and then even more behind them that are just flat empty.
Senya kind of look. So there's like bottles that are just like kind of in various stages of like consumption.
Yeah, and there is also some that, like, I won't say a giant pile in the corner of empties, but like more. What I'll say is it becomes very obvious that, like, Bakken's not taking things well. Bakken is under a lot of stress right now. There is still a pretty big demand for holy water, which it is on him to generate, and then take that with the burden of statecraft, recent stress, his advancing age. He's under a lot of stress right now.
Senya notices the bottles in various stages of consumption and kind of tips her head over to them, and she understands like what's happening, but she doesn't want to outright like point out the obvious. But she says, "You know, friend, if you ever need a drinking buddy, I'm more than happy to share a cup or two."
Yeah, right. I'll bear that in mind. Certainly you're a better choice than... He kind of, like, trails off a little. Oleg just... I'm pretty sure he has an extra liver he's not telling anyone about. I digress. Is there anything else you needed, wanted, questions, comments, concerns?
Well, stay strong, friend. I'm sure we'll find the Lich and deal with him.
Or he'll find us and burn things to the ground, but either way. Certainly we can reset the clock over and over and over and over and over and over again.
That is life, isn't it?
Nods. Alright, if you didn't need anything else, get the hell out. I've got shit to do. And he sits down, starts generating more.
Bakken.
Senya walks out thinking like, he isn't usually ornery. Anyway, that's that.
And probably a crowd develops Kato and the prince as you guys are... I don't know exactly what that training looks like. or if it's more of a God, I don't know. If it's like you guys are sparring, people are gonna come watch that. Rumors have now spread throughout the kingdom, bits and pieces of like a dragon infests these parts, or Kato has tamed a wild beast, or Kato has sold his soul to Dahak, the god of this setting's Tiamat, essentially is the quick way to describe that. On and on and on. And people stop and watch however it is this happens between the two of you.
So what Kato's so how the training kind of looks is he's sort of trying to impart. He's like, all right, so you and I are very different, types of creatures. I used to. You never got to meet them, unfortunately. Unfortunately, in quotations, I guess. Though I think she would have been, very much your style. She taught me a few things, but her lessons never really stuck as my kind of thing. But I think you would really. I remembered the lessons that she tried to impart upon me, and I think they would be of great value to you. The skill of using your presence to intimidate and to put fear into enemies, crippling them essentially in combat. She was very good at it, and though she is no longer with us, I think that is something that you would take to in a very effective manner. And so I will impart sort of the ideas and things that I learned from Kalira in the years of her journeying with us. Try to impart that wisdom to Prince to teach him, some of the things that she used to do in combat that Kato observed, and the things that she tried to teach him how to do, though he never really made use of them.
Okay. And indeed, I imagine the Red Prince takes to this like a fish to water, just flying around. There is an assembled crowd who he probably would like to kill and eat, at least a little, but is like, he's taking it a little more to like, I can scare them. This will get a response. This is fun for me. Haha, we're just playing. As he like goes flying around from time to time, a gout of fire like your torchules its way up into the, not to burn anyone, though there are probably a couple close calls for them and property, like as just like diving, roaring people at first are like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. First it was a lich, now it was a dragon. This is the worst place to live. People are leaving the castle. And it was the perfect time to fit that in. Then they realize that it's a joke, and it becomes a little more, or not a joke, but like safe, I guess. And it becomes a little more, dare I say, SeaWorld-y, that kind of thing, and they're in the splash zone. So it's like fire happens, scary happens, but there's a lot of positive reinforcement from the assembled crowd as people watch this happen, and the prince just eats it up.
I think I might have made a mistake.
Amongst the crowd, Jubilost and his folks, I guess I will call them, are also here watching it. And after the people start to like go away, but there are enough people around that there is that sense of formality must be maintained. And he approaches the pair of just, my lord, I must. The name you have chosen for and his Draconic it's not bad. He's certainly more fluent than you, but he's got to like knock the dust off as he's like, our illustrious Red Prince. He's not the only Red Prince on Galarian. Did you know that?
Who is this? Sorry, Tommy, who is this?
Jubilost Northrop.
This is Jubilost.
The man, the myth, the clappy boy.
The clappy legend, okay.
Oh, man, oh no. I'm sure that beats the censor. It's probably fine. God. Okay, I gotta inhale. We're good.
Would I've known this? Would a knowledge nobility have told me this?
Yes, it would have, actually. I didn't think about it until literally just now when I googled
Let me
it.
see if I know who this other red prince is. One moment. I have never heard of him. Sorry.
No, you have no idea. Not the foggiest. It's far from here. My lord's nobility is, well, let's just say that when we march triumphantly into Restov, a la Coral the Conqueror, no one will question us again. Am I right? And he says the "Am I right?" in Draconic, and the prince just and is very happy. No, it's much farther south of here. There's not the Red Prince, but the Ruby Prince, the current pharaoh of Osirion, actually. Turns out.
Oh.
Not red, but ruby. I'm not saying you need to change his name, though it's not really a name so much as a title. I don't know. If someone called me the Clappy Boy all the time, he is immediately reminded of, like, and then he stops short.
Clapmaster.
I was going to say Claptrap, but yes, let's just say having a name, not a nickname or a title, it's important. That said, also, if someone from very far away from here hears that there's a much, much more minor noble thing here that
Calling itself the... Yeah.
Well, it would be like if someone was calling themselves Cato Sicarius, right? You would be upset about this.
It's a good point.
And there's further, I should also say, to further confound things, he breathes in. There is another. A little farther from here, but also kind of closer. Tell me, what do you know, my lord, of the eldest? Does this ring any bells?
I can't imagine it does.
It might with a religion check.
Not trained.
Alrighty.
I'm not a... Cato has never been one for the churches.
Well, I can give you the long story, or I can give you the short version.
The quick one is good.
Okay, so they're not as powerful as deities. They live in the first world. They are able to grant spells to their worshippers. And one of them, I suppose if this was a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game, you would call them Archfey. One of them, the Lost Prince. One of the most powerful of them, said to reshape the very fabric of the first world unto his whim. And there are, well, let's just say there are places hereabouts where the Fae, they do gather. Giving him, he's known to be a little on the melancholic side. No one really knows why. Honestly, I shouldn't say aspect. He has one true form, and it's not unlike a melancholy teenager. That said, these creatures are capricious at best, and if they figure there's something, another prince, the A prince and the B prince, certainly one of them would need to see their way out of the stolen lands. You understand?
I imagine there are princes everywhere. I'm sure this thing doesn't hunt down every creature that goes by the title prince, though.
But no one goes by the name Prince, right? It's like...
Formerly known as Prince.
Exactly. This may need to become the dragon formerly known as Prince.
Formerly known as Prince. God damn it.
Whereas you yourself...
What's in a name?
If Saul Sicarius were to become a king somewhere, you would be Prince Cato Sicarius, Lord of Concordia, and he lists off another bunch of titles and heraldry and things of that nature. But your name is not Prince, last name Cato. I've taken enough of your time. It's simply just food for thought.
Something to consider. Very good.
And he messages you as he walks away. Food for thought as we all wait for our inevitable demise at the hands of a very powerful lich. I just thought I would bring it up as all. And he then out loud makes a big formal bow and good day, my lord.
Good day. Very well. To the dragon name generator.
To the dragon name generator. Away. Anybody else got anything to do, or is my next question then on to a, like, what do we do next? Or maybe the better question, how many days pass The pendulum swings back and forth inexorably towards your demise.
I mean, do we want to do anything in the next 9 days, or do we want to just take the time to? With that time, I could get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could get almost all of our crafting done, assuming we're
still
not
have a
attacked by the
queue.
Lich.
Oh, you still have stuff to craft then.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
she has a,
I
she
have
has
a
a-
ton.
Okay.
she has a hell of a queue.
Well, I have 5 items, but it's a total of a lot of days.
I was gonna add one more thing onto there, but I would have had to have figured out the finances behind it anyway. So
yeah, probably
to
better
do
giving all
things
that
are-
information between sessions so I can.
Well, I didn't know
prioritize
it was
it.
based on the loot we got today, so I
Okay.
couldn't have.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying.
And then on top of that, also, like, I don't want to put too fine of a loot split point on it. Though, really, the Red Prince probably would. He has an inborn urge to, that's shiny. It's mine now. Eat shit. This is mine. Go away. But he will be as effective in combat as his armor and things are enchanted. Amulets. He kind of wants the same sort of loot that Minoru does, minus, like, the dire collar wouldn't work on him.
Yeah, so he doesn't. I was actually going to ask you about this because I was reading through like spells and abilities and just like spell like ability effect things. He does not count as an animal, but he
Right.
also doesn't count as a humanoid.
Right. By typing, he is a dragon. He will need,
Okay.
like, enlarged person won't work on him, but a spell like, if you were able to cast Righteous Might on himself, that would work, I want to say.
Legendary proportions.
Also
would
good.
work.
Yeah. By that same token, I can't hit him with, like, hold person. I would need to hit him. Well, no, he's immune to paralysis. That's a bad example.
So, just out of interest, would size alteration work on him? The language is.
Can you like it for me?
Yeah.
It can. I think it says that it's.
It says a creature.
Oh, it says not limited by the creature's type.
It
says it
the
acts as
spell
if
calls
enlarged.
instant growth of a humanoid creature, doubling its height and multiplying its weight by 8. The increase changes the under the enlarge bit if you scroll down a little.
Oh, so this is humanoid only.
He looks like, but then if it says it up at the top, now I'm confused.
I think it's saying this spell operates like enlarge, but it is not restricted by the creature's type, so the humanoid language gets dropped essentially.
Okay,
think
yeah, fair
I think
enough.
it's just I think it's just putting the spells in there for reference.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what? I think I put that in,
That
actually.
would make sense.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so then there you go. You could make the
So
Red
you
Prince
could touch
medium.
him. Yeah. Woo! Now I got a new person for you to use that ability on.
I'll make another sheet.
I
for
mean,
his
again,
battle form.
I'll use my own
Keep in mind
potions.
that when we're caught off guard, it's much harder for me to assist
fair.
that way.
That's fair. But in
Because
that
I
regard,
seriously have a 1 minute like wind up before I'm really effective.
no, I get it. I mean, in the instances where you would be using that, I would get you to use that on Prince instead of me now.
Right.
going forward. Cool. Speaking of which, I'm down to 2 enlarged person potions. I might want to grab a couple more. Get Bakken to make me a few more.
Sounds good.
So let
Certainly
me
got the
just
time.
Just looking at my funds. So I spent 250 on his armor. And then how much were those potions each? 50 gold,
I think
I
so.
want to say.
Yeah.
So for 2 more, that's 100 more. So that's 350. So I'm down to 600, 500, 583 gold. Minus what not counting what we looted today.
I'm gonna begin the process. I don't know if we'll have the full 5 days it takes, but I'm retraining quick draw 2 clustered shots.
Sounds good. Sounds real good.
5 days.
And then,
I've learned my lesson.
and then, Tommy, if you just want to let me know how many days pass before there's a disruption, then I will let everybody know what was crafted in that time.
Okay, sounds good.
So we can resolve that whenever.
9
Whoa.
days will pass before the next disruption, which is the Kingdom Turn.
Okay.
So everything's completed.
And also, fun fact, this Kingdom Turn also happens during an important holiday. Because it is tax day.
Jackfest?
Yes.
Oh heck yeah.
Um,
Next fest.
So a lot of things are going on. I don't know how
So-
much you want to celebrate a holiday. First things first, let's resolve the 9 days.
Right. Okay. So, not quite everything. Del, you had me put the Circlet of Persuasion on hold, so you have your Dancing Scarves is complete, or rather, the enchantment on those is complete. And then the
Well,
rest is all.
I sent you the what to replace the circlet with. All I said the only different the circlet I changed to the combined item, the circlet plus the plume of panache, and I put that
Okay,
first.
so
before
I
the
misunderstood that. The last thing I remember is that you told me to put that on hold.
Put the weapon stuff on hold, and change the circlet to include a plume of panache, and put that at the top of the priority.
Okay, so how many days is that?
It was about the same. Let me just look at the message here real quick. It was 3 days.
Okay, so let me rework this a little bit because something's not going to get made here.
What a feather in your cap.
Yeah, because I realized that circlet of persuasion took the same slot as the plume, so I was just going to replace it. And then Tommy informed me that you can combine items for that extra fee.
Indeed.
And the plume of panache is cheap. I mean, it's only 1,000. It's 500 to craft, and then you add 50% of that. It's
Okay, so in that case,
the
we
total
don't.
cost is 3,000 for 3 days.
Okay, so we do not have your dancing scarves yet, but we do have your plume, and then that gives me just enough time to enchant my sword and armor, and that's all we're gonna get done.
Yeah, my armor's good as is. Like the dancing scarves are like don't need to can definitely be pushed off for other people's more important stuff.
Okay,
I still
gotcha.
have my chain coat, so that is perfectly functional in the meantime. Okay, so there's a little RP behind this. So as I've kind of been preparing, so the instructions I would have given Ionia for the construction of this circlet, because this circlet is essentially going to represent the like the royal crown of the kingdom. So essentially, what you see is the circlet of persuasion is like it's a very subtle. It's not overly ornamented or anything, because it's very functional in its design. And then, if it is okay with you, Tommy, I don't know if it really matters. I would like to flavor the included plume of panache to essentially be like an embedded, instead of it being an actual feather that wilts when you use it up. Could we have it like flavored as like an embedded jewel, like a crown jewel, and then when the panache is used, the jewel like loses its luster and turns black until it recharges that point of panache the next day?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Very big inheritance cycle energy there. The thing that lights up, and this has magic energy, and then whoop goes away. And I didn't mean to land that much closer to Aragon, given that you have a pet dragon. But if you name him Thorn, I wouldn't say no. Anyway, moving on.
All right, so Kato has his crown with a nice big red. It's gonna be a big red jewel that's very it's very bright. It shines, but then once the power is used from it, it turns almost to just turns like pitch black, loses all of its luster until it recharges. Cool. All right. Thanks, Ionia. And I now get a +3 competence bonus to all charisma-based checks. So
All right, let's see how much of our kingdom burned down.
Is that all of the crafting and stuff?
Yeah, I'm just applying the modifiers and all my stuff here.
I've got my feet swapped around.
Alrighty then. So let's fumble through the kingdom turn for 30 minutes.
Interesting.
The first thing that happens is it dawns on every single last one of you. I guess we can do that a little better. There is the meeting where everybody shows up and the big council thing happens. would probably, like, the finishing touches on the keep are happening day of, so this probably still occurs in the temple. Boggin, Jubilost, the chief, Dazia returns for this as well, because she instinctively knows, as all of you PCs do, that today is an important day. It is the general, like, the mood as everyone assembles is like yellow alert anxiety levels, shall we say, because all of you know that at this point, Vorticai has definitively reformed, but has not attacked.
The maximum amount of time possible has elapsed.
It was
basically.
10 days ago.
Yeah.
He has had 10 days in the wild to do who knows what, but has not attacked you. Has not been sighted, and folks are looking. Probably, like, when Artoris has probably been keeping a record of days in his mind's memory palace, if you would. So, like, folks have been looking, you all have been looking, and nothing has happened. Not a damn thing. And so everyone is worried as reconvening of the council happens. For this kingdom turn, several things do occur. The first and foremost problem that is happening is not there's a lich burning your kingdom, but you do get a lot of reports that no one has come to blows yet, but indeed the Hell Knights and the Aruxi and several people who are living in the Stolen Lands, or living in Concordia from the Stolen Lands, are not getting on. There are, at taverns late at night, a couple of, like, glasses in, rumors that this place is going to become a hellish autocracy a la Cheliax. In some cases, members of different, like, Aruxi sub-tribes are just flat leaving for fear of their, like, lives, well-being, so on and so forth. Dazia herself has, as soon as she steps foot in Concordia, she stops doing the magic things and probably just tries to look like a regular, like, humanoid of her ancestry and not the powerful shaman that she is, for fear of sparking something off. By that same notion, no one has been put to the... Nobody expects the Chalice Inquisition, but, like, the Hell Knights are looking around. They dine probably amongst themselves somewhere that is convenient for them, but then, like, rumors pop up. Maybe it's from Jubilost has wandered that way, or, like, random people from the citizenry, especially, like, the upper crust who have come from Restov, and this is their summer home, and it is now spring, and so we are getting ready to live here for a little while, and then realizing, oh wait, no, it's fucking dangerous here. Let's go home. But then, wait, let's the Hell Knights come talk to them, back and forth, that kind of thing. And so tell me about your neighbors. Nothing bad has happened yet, but it stands to reason something will. What do you want to do about it?
I mean, as far as the Vorticai thing is concerned, I mean, this might be a little optimistic, but maybe, you know, after beating him this many times, he's just been like, you know what, these guys are too strong.
Oh wow!
I give up. I give up.
I'll give up.
No, maybe he's gone. He's like,
That's
gonna leave us alone.
a really nice thought, Del.
Vorticai will actually be played by Jar Jar Binks, and not the scary one. No Darth Jar Jar here. I like that theory a lot.
Realistically, he's probably planning something enormous to destroy us. So, with that said, yeah, we're probably pretty screwed. However, we have to deal with this unrest at home.
That is that's third on the docket. The first thing is, like, literally there is a problem that is being presented to you a la the rules of Kingdom Turns. I forget. I'm kind of running off the CRPG at this point. How you guys want to respond to the, like, tensions that are flaring with Hell Knight presence, Hell Knight Alliance is up to y'all,
Yes.
but they are present. What
I mean,
does-
how's the reconstruction coming?
It will be done probably by the end of the day. Ish, assuming nothing goes wrong. I love to paint those things here, but yeah, no, they would be done at the end of the day, theoretically.
Well,
I would
mean,
also like to know how we're going to handle this because I am also feeling some unrest.
Ionia and Senia are kind of under the gun if you guys are friends with Hell Knights. Ionia, God, honestly, a Geminid Invoker kind of falls just definitively in the same spot. Like, you two are maybe not like a shoot on sight, but they're going to ask a lot of questions. And when they figure out what those questions would lead to, like, it would be really easy under certain, like, it would not be accurate, I'll say, but it's very easy to paint what Senia does as necromancy. It would be very, and God, I guess Ionia as well. Like, you would fall in that same, like, shoot on sight order that truly Galarian has if you frame ancestor worship that way. Dazia does too, frankly.
Do we still think it's a good idea to take the road to the Hell Knight Citadel?
I mean, right now we at least have the benefit of having like a shared enemy, and it's probably, you know, much more of a concern to them than, you know, a couple tribal country bumpkin style shaman that are,
I
you
am
know,
not a
not really
country
doing. I was talking about Senya and Dazia more specifically, but
Maybe the
I
easier
know
way to
you're
paint it is to
very-
go like, I'm gonna grab tokens really quickly. Oh, I guess Old Boy is here too, isn't he? Sprat, the new Grinluke. Probably very happy to be included on the council, and like this is just big promotion for him, and nothing is bad. Everything's great. But Kato, you're good, certainly by like your birthright indicates that you're fine. You had a falling out with people, but technically deserve your position and have done nothing wrong, and you're great, and everything checks out for you. You're also not magic at all. Artoris is like, you could dig something up probably about his parents, but his standing with Abadar, his own, like, what people would ping detecting magic on him and detecting alignment on him, the Hell Knights probably love him quite a bit. Then it's like the next down, here's the S tier in the eyes of, right? Then you go from like S to C. Chief Sootscale, Bakken, the Red Prince, Jubilost. People who are like, at best, just they live here and meh, whatever. I didn't mean to sort that by size category, but all of the small, all the small folks.
oh god.
God, I'm slap happy as hell today. I apologize, but you are either a threat, the Red Prince, because there's a baby red dragon running around. Bakken, associated with the we be goblins, you be food mentality that a lot of the Hell Knights will see when they look at him. He's probably, like, they look at him and they see someone who can eat anything, is known, stereotypically speaking, to burn things, eat children, feed things to their goblin dogs, so on and so forth. Same is kind of true with Chief Sootscale. Jubilost is wandering chaotic entity, therefore bad. Sprat probably doesn't even register. Like, he's just some dude following orders. Then Dazia, Ionia, Senia fall in. It's almost like a Whispering Way cultist and Ionia walk into a bar, and the Hell Knights will heresy detected no matter what. Y'all certainly know better. The population of Concordia probably knows better. And certainly if, well, Vorticai shows up, there is a clear and present, like, this is more bad, and the Hell Knights know this. That said, and I'll trail off it there.
Okay. Well, I think we need to address the elephant in the room with, I think the Hell Knights need to be the ones that are told to, you know,
Yeah, Minoru is S+ tier.
back off and leave our people alone.
What do you mean? You welcomed them into the city,
Sure. But I didn't.
and they're finishing construction, and they'll be
But I-
gone when it's over.
But they haven't been they weren't given permission to harass our citizens.
There have not been any incidents of fights or anything like that. People are uncomfortable
The Uruxi are leaving.
in the presence of the Hell Knights, but
The Uruxi are being driven from the town,
they're doing that because they feel uncomfortable.
threatened.
And you don't see a problem with people feeling uncomfortable in their own home?
I'm saying it's not the Hell Knights' fault. It was our decision to accept their help. And now we're going to blame them for our decision?
Tommy, have the Hell Knights been overtly harassing the Uruxi at all?
No, but like the situation is going to land there. There is enough clear indication of not of hostility, but of like, what's the word? How do I want to phrase this?
Derision.
Yeah, there you go. And like ill intent. That kind of thing. Like it will, whether it's a young Uruxi warrior gets it in his head that this is his rite of passage, or whether it's a Kelid from like seventh son of this tribe, so on and so forth, may also feel that way, or the Hell Knights decide that there's a bounty on Senia's head because she's the last of the Black Stags, or like the leader of the Uruxi tribal coalition certainly would like get rid of her and they'll all scatter to the winds, that kind of thing. But no, nothing bad has happened yet.
Just on the verge. We're on a precipice here. It could tip either way based on the actions we take right now.
Yes.
I don't see the issue with allowing they will complete the job that we agreed for them to complete, and nothing further.
Right? But we need to, if we don't do anything, it's pretty safe to say that there will be blood in the streets.
Well, I fail to see the issue. I think that once the construction is complete, the agreement was, or the invitation, I should say, was for nothing more than to help finish the keep. We didn't give them permission to patrol our city or walk, arrest anybody. I fail to see the issue.
Does that mean you're going to close the border then? Because they are, in fact, let me remind you, a paramilitary force. And given our...
I think...
And Bakken kind of like stands up on the table, spreads his arms. Given our present situation, if they decide what's ours is theirs, let's just say we're looking kind of ripe for harvest at the moment.
They are a very useful ally at this moment. I would
they are
remind everybody.
I obviously do not want to sour any relationship that we have, so meticulously built with them up until this point.
Sure,
course,
fine, fair enough.
But we must also look out for the safety of those who, to be quite honest, were here first and have done more for this kingdom at this point than the Hell Knights have.
Exactly. How many kidneys have the Hell Knights stabbed for you?
But it would be very poor taste to accept their help and then to suddenly chase them off.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we need to speak with probably the tiefling diplomatically. Let him know that
the tiefling, Magaris.
Magaris, thank you.
How dare you?
Speak with him diplomatically and explain to him that I understand him and his people have certain prejudices, but this is the stolen lands. These are the natives, and so long as they don't, endanger, those that are living here and building the civilizations here, we have put them under our protection.
I mean, it needs a lot of work. I wouldn't call it the stolen lands. I would call it Concordia. I would assert our sovereignty, and I would also assert that this kingdom is a fledgling kingdom of Abadars. I think that they will respond most positively to that line of reasoning.
I think
the point is made that those who they might be a little uneasy about are, sovereign citizens and under our protection, and any action made against sovereign citizens is an act made against Concordia.
Problem is they haven't actually made an act against anyone, and yet people are still uncomfortable with their presence. So assuring everyone that there will be no act made against them, I don't think will exactly make anyone feel less uneasy.
No, but
That's-
we'll at least hopefully prevent further escalation. I mean, more that will need to be done in order to de-escalate the current situation, but we need to, first of all, make sure that it doesn't get any worse. And that make sure that they, that there's strict, preventative measures so that like people don't come to blows in the streets over,
If
assumption.
if the decision of the council is to keep them as very double arm's length allies, then might I suggest, as a token of goodwill to the Hell Knights, we offer them some kind of payment for what they've done for us here.
I think it'd be rude not to pay anyone for hard work.
Well, they offered
Generally.
it for free, probably under the assumption that we would be a more welcoming host. And if we are going to withdraw that, then I suggest, yes, we should pay our debt.
The issue is what is more valuable to us, the opinion of our ally or the opinion of our people?
Well, the opinion of our ally matters very much in keeping our people alive at all. So
The opinion of our people matters very much in keeping people.
Is the Red Prince present?
It's a balance. He would be, yes.
So as this is happening, Daze and the Prince are both kind of just like quietly absorbing what the council is saying, and then like the Red Prince is obviously much more uncomfortable about things, and he turns to Kato in common. Dad, are they gonna hurt me? The room gets like all of the NPCs turn his direction, and it gets dead quiet. Even Jubilost, who's like kind of like standing on the table and gets ready to like half clap into something, stops dead.
Wow. They will not lay a finger on you. You don't have to worry about that.
He nods real slowly. He's obviously upset. Like we were talking about like his name probably comes up, the general feelings in the room of like, here are people who are safe, here are people who are not, here are people who are questionable, points his direction a couple times, and like he's not good, but he nods. Kind of goes to like sit at your... Is there a chair for him?
I mean, he could perch on the... I'm sure on like...
the flame retardant cat tree that is brought to the table. That kind of thing. Which would be...
there's plenty of...
Good.
I was gonna say there's probably plenty of areas he could like perch from, or
Okay, fair enough. Then he comes to rest at your side and says nothing, but still kind of like anxiously looks around. Occasionally will stop to look out a window. It's obvious you aren't being spied on, at least without like an obligatory detect magic in the room. No one is standing outside the window listening, and I'll say that.
I hope I speak for the entire council when I say that as long as any of us breathe, we will fight till our last breath to protect every citizen of Concordia, everyone present in this room obviously included in that.
With that said, I don't want to... I see where our Taurus is coming from as well. It's very easy to quickly paint the Hell Knights as threats, as enemies, potentially, when there hasn't been any, overt acts on their part yet to, warrant such a accusation. Not saying it couldn't happen. We must always be wary. We must always, be vigilant and try to prevent these types of things from happening before they happen. But currently all we have is, discomfort and suspicion and nothing more, which we can't, exactly act upon in a way that, we would, as if, in the same way as if they had, overtly harassed or caused harm to any of the Uruxi or those here that they are, that they dislike. With that said, we would also be failing in our duties if we took no action, and allowed one of our citizens to, be murdered in the streets because of the tensions that we knew were present. So it's a delicate situation that we stand in right now.
I don't know that it would necessarily go so far as to have one of our citizens assassinated in the street. So far, the Hell Knights have been nothing but helpful. And of course, I say this as one of the people who I'm sure is very uncomfortable with them being here, but they have not done anything so far to earn our ire. That said, the feeling of safety, the feeling of comfort in one's own home is paramount. If our citizens are being made to feel uncomfortable, we need to do something about that. Now, the Hell Knights should only be here until the end of the day, but maybe we can do something perhaps this evening to ease tensions between the two parties. A feast, maybe, something to bring the people together.
Ooh, let's get all the Hell Knights at a table with all the people that they are suspicious of, and I'm sure that'll be perfect.
Technically speaking, it is in fact a holiday, assuming we are planning on collecting taxes from people in fear of their lives. Yes.
And a feast is an important part of tax day. It would show the Hell Knights that we are a nation of Abadarans. We are a nation who value and uphold the law. Maybe we can make an event of finding some way to make the Hell Knights seem more like people to our citizens and make our citizens seem more like people to the Hell Knights.
It's not and I mean, in a public event, there would be,
If I may, that is a delightfully optimistic view, but the Hell Knights are. I mean, if you think I'm extreme, I don't think you're going to get them to sit down and break bread with people that they consider to be anathema, and learn that in fact they're people too. I would suggest instead we, at the end of the day, we pay them for their services and we arrange for a meeting, probably between Cato, perhaps myself, and Magaris, in which we define very clearly what our relationship is and what it will be in the future, and leave it up to them whether to accept or decline those terms.
And what happens if they decline?
Well, we have an obligation to Abadar and to our people to defend Concordia.
As long as I know what side of the line you'll fall on.
I have a private oath to someone I care about very deeply to defend Ionia, and I have an even greater oath to Abadar. You don't need to worry about me.
Who said I was worried? Just
That
a little
said,
nervous.
I would be very cautious, given our circumstance, about making enemies of literally everybody around us. They are, in spite of their differences, one of the few people who have been willing to even speak with us.
If I may interject, there was the matter of the priest of the Tiger Lords who we did jump.
You weren't there.
What? Yes, I was.
Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah,
you were. He got clobbered.
That's why I'm using my Jubilost voice and not my Bakken voice.
Got it. Well, he attacked us anyway.
I believe actually what happened was he asked to parley, and we decided to attack him after emptying his castle with illusions.
Well, he was a being of chaos, serving a chaotic deity.
I don't don't think he actually wanted to parlay. He said he would give us the first move. Whether that meant diplomacy or fighting, I just assumed being, a Goromite, it meant fighting. He was just giving us the honor of, making the first.
The Tiger Lords are a sworn enemy of the Black Stags. They get no parlay from me.
There we
Indeed,
go.
and the average
it's her fault.
Iruxi shaman or druid might actually be sworn enemy of the Hell Knight Order on our doorstep. Point is, they aren't necessarily our... The notion that we shouldn't make enemies of everyone around us, yes, indeed, I agree completely. I'm just saying there are other options is all.
What do you recommend?
Myself, I would... He stops short as a moment, and everyone who casts magic sees there is a detect magic cast by Jubilos. He spins the room. Now that I'm sure that no one is listening and who should not be, pay the Hell Knights something fair yet not overly generous. Thank them for their time. Ask them to leave. Something on the order of, well,
You don't recommend inviting them to the tax day celebration?
if I'm perfectly honest with you, I think what would happen is they would say something on the orders of, and he pops his chest out, tries to I'm not wearing a collar, but he pops his. Something on the order of, well, I have something better to do with my time today. I'm required to be far away in distant lands, sniffing the farts of my other fellow Hell Knights. Bakken falls out, the prince falls out.
Ionia also falls over laughing.
The room falls out. Then they leave. They take it in back to their esteemed, what even is Paralictor, Merilictor, I forget the exact title, but Lord Varn inform him that they were offered a formal thing, and then this is some kind of... It's leveraged against us, is what I'm saying. From there, if I'm honest, I would prioritize not the making of friends, but the making sure the friends and contacts we have don't murder each other while we deal with the clear and present threat of Vorticai. And from there, I don't know, maybe...
It makes sense. What I would have then in the between, to ensure that the day goes by, without incident between the two groups, perhaps we could have I know we're going to use these for like odd jobs all the time now, I feel like, but have the Ash Maidens kind of, hang by, sort of, just to ensure that, no one comes to... No tuffles in the street basically break out.
I will personally hang by if that is what you're after.
You'll accompany the Hell Knight workers as they toil through the day. That seems like you have better things to be doing.
No, I think what he means is the man who never sleeps will be in the streets and not in his temple.
While we should be planning on how to deal with Vorticai.
That's the beauty of never sleeping, is he can make that plan and then go wander around all night and make sure no one does anything they would regret.
I have a sneaking suspicion that we need to go soon, but my point is that I would advise severely against making the Hell Knights feel like they're under watch when they've been nothing but helpful.
Fine, we would put the Aruxi and other citizens under watch instead. Under guard.
That's what you think is best.
In any case, the High Priest makes a point. I didn't realize what time it was. So, yeah. We will... I guess I will ask now, would you guys rather resolve the Kingdom turn itself at the top of next session, or would you rather... I guess really quickly, I'm going to roll it. I'm guessing Kato wants to help with the control stuff this month.
Yeah,
No, economy.
I'm worried about economy. We'll definitely be putting all of Kato's focus on stability.
Okay, cool. So then between Artoris and Kato, the 14 should be more than enough. I'm not looking at the numbers. I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do to raise the DC given the state of unrest, but it's probably fine. You two can figure it out. As far as I trust y'all to roll the numbers in this chat, or in this game, and then you make this much money. This is how much you spend.
Sounds good.
Based on your 14, Tommy, I'll also put the math in the Discord chat just so you see what happens too. We'll be
Thank-
transparent about all the roles, everything. Yeah.
Sounds good. And then that is
Always
where
screen cap in the private channel just so that they're all kind of in one place.
it's also good. And that is where we're gonna call this one for today. Then thank you guys for watching. Vorticai appears. Roll for initiative. We'll see you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
I'm not kidding. Roll for initiative. Vorticai appears.